Sally Fisk would say, stick it up your ass.
On the next American Idol, Attorney General John Ashcroft sings,
let the eagle soar like you've never soared before. From Rocky and Bullwinkle to Garrymore, the mighty eagle must soar. I need more words that rhyme with soar. I remember shopping at the Eagle store. I was out of chlorine for the pool, and I needed more. Lord God pushes our teeth. I'm troubled and surprised by your computers that I spy. It seems that you like sex, but I don't like women's breasts. I'd like to cut them off their chests. It's simple to have sex, and that's why I cut a hole in my sheet, and I pour hot wax down my pants. But I think it's a crime to dance. So let the eagle soar. And if you disagree, in the camp you will be like you never soared before.
Well, we're not going to have John Ashcroft to kick around anymore. And I was just thinking, what are we going to have on a beaded curtain once he departs very soon? Have to get somebody else, some other Nazi on there.
Oh, whoever.
And speaking of the beaded curtain, I just looked at that piece of crap you put on there today.
Oh, man.
I can't believe that. That doesn't even look like a real person. Josh, did you see that?
Not yet.
Josephine Baker, take a look at that. It looks like a mannequin.
She's famous.
Oh, get out of here, man. That's for the crowd out there that's got the blow-up dolls. Who the hell wants to see that?
Somebody.
Jesus, man.
She's famous. They made a movie
about it. It wasn't bad enough that we had, like, our whole website fell off the face of the earth yesterday because of QAM and that awful press conference, that baloney peddling BS from the organization. Mr. H said this and Mr. H said that. You're a bunch of freaking liars, okay? Let's face it. Everybody's been... Even that Guayabera-wearing Dan LeBastard was on there on ESPN yesterday. I happened to come across that, talking about how in Mr. H's world... Well, he didn't say that. But in Wayne's world, they were all saying it on there, and everybody knows it. Nobody ever gets fired. They all resign, because everything has to look squeaky clean to make him look like a good guy, which we know he's not anyway. He's full of crap.
And I'm going to tell you something right now, and you can mark it down.
Okay.
If Broward County would change their mind and decide they wanted to build this facility, I will not play here. Because I will not have you guys looking at me for the next 10 years saying, here's a guy that said one thing and went out and did something else.
Well, you know something? There's a guy that said one thing and went out and did something else. How do you like that? Full of crap, Wayne. Oh, I mean, Mr. H. Why is it that there's so many people? It seems that the more money they've got, the more like spoiled brats they are. Like they have this expectation of everybody owes them something.
Notice that?
Everybody has to cater to them. I don't want to mention any names, Greg, but it's like a bunch of spoiled little children. Well, like, I'm going to take my spoons and go home. I'm taking my ball and going home. Bunch of bullcrap. Yeah, Wannstedt got fired. In fact, they were talking at length about the fact that he had his own press conference on the morning of the game on Sunday, and he laughed at the suggestion that he was going to depart before the end of the season or depart at any time. And then all of a sudden that night he has a meeting with Mr. H, and he decided it's time to step aside. Step aside. Like the Humper said, right on target. It was they were slicing bologna and peddling it. How do you like that? Liar, liar, your ants are on fire, mister. But anyway, we got screwed by that yesterday, and we never recovered. We never even made a fake a comeback. So I hope we have some appointments for calls here today, because we get like a 40-minute head start. It's a spastic show, man. Sometimes we got a long one, sometimes we got a short one, you know. You know how that is.
No. Tell us about it.
Yeah, I don't either. I know part of that. Line 9, though, always is a good one to kick it off with. QAM, hello.
Hey, I'm busy. Never mind. Bye.
Okay, great. WQAM, hello. Okay, he didn't have an appointment, by the way, for this half hour. It's not 10:30 yet. You do that one more time and you're out, sweetheart. We're done. WQAM, hello. 2
Yeah,
a.m.
I'm calling to speak to Neil.
Well, who do you think this is, man? You think this is Buster Brown? What can I
Buster
do for
Brown?
you, sir? Yeah, Buster Brown. Remember that? Plunk your magic twanger, Froggy?
Hey, I'm a new listener, bud.
All right.
I'm just wondering,
not so
how does
good,
the Canadian thing fit
I beg
into
your
this
pardon?
place?
How does the Canadian thing? What Canadian thing?
Well, do you broadcast in Canada?
No, I broadcast from Canada.
From
Well,
Canada.
let me ask you something. Where does Stern broadcast from?
New York.
Yeah, so what does that have to do with anything? What does that have to do with Florida? What difference does it make where your ass is sitting? Right?
Right, exactly.
Okay,
Exactly.
get with it, pal. Get with it, okay? If I'm in Toronto, if I'm in Amsterdam, if I'm in Uranus, what difference does that make? Oh, and by the way, for that schmuck that called yesterday, since we've had a few of those calls over the last few months, especially the Bush crowd, well, who are you since you're spending most of your time up there? Well, let me just say this to you, okay? Especially for that old grizzled fart, that old cocker that called yesterday. Number one, I'm still an American citizen. Number two, I still live in Plantation Acres, my permanent residence. And number three, and most importantly of all, I pay more taxes to the U.S. government in 1 year than you paid in your lifetime. How do you like that, loser? You old cocker that's probably living on food stamps. Probably has to have somebody come over to squeeze his bag clean for him every morning. Who the hell are you kidding? Yeah, who are you? You're up there to be talking. Yeah, right. I'm the one that's subsidizing you and your frickin' Social Security and your discounts on the early bird specials. That's who I am. Schmuck. Not that I want to start on a sour note today. Hey, join George, Miguel, and Boca Brian today, 5 to 7 for happy hour at Treasure Island. It's Wednesday. It's Treasure Island Day. Located right off the Palmetto, just north of the 122nd Street exit. Stop by to check this week's feature out. Stephanie Evans, she's there again. Some real eye-popping stuff.
Yeah, she missed a few
when in
people
doubt,
last
she
time.
pops it out. And win some crappy prizes, too. What?
She missed a few people last time, so she's back at it.
That's right. So be shooting it at you again, okay? Ping pong balls, shuttlecocks, bowling balls.
Right?
Right.
Volleyballs.
Volleyballs, footballs. Well, wait till you see those oblong footballs come out of there, man. It's really something to see. It's a hellraiser. And then she's got, like, baseballs that are sewn really, really extra tight by them little Haitians. It's great. Stephanie Evans and George and Miguel and Boca Brian, 5 to 7 this afternoon at Treasure Island. Yeah, we're going to have to get somebody to replace John Ashcroft to have an evil eye. Well, first of all, we're going to leave that on there to Josephine Baker. And I actually printed out the bio and everything to get ready for 11 o'clock when we officially start the show. A replacement picture. Well, now I'm going to have to do more research during the break. Well, but that's good. Now, Josh, did you look at that?
Yeah, that's borderline circus material.
Yeah. Very well said. Yeah, very well said. I was thinking of Carney myself, and we had Carney Wilson yesterday. Carney, as in Carnival.
She was famous.
I don't care.
International.
So was Betsy Ross. You want to put her naked on there with those saggy boobs? I don't think so.
If I find a picture, I'll put it on there.
Yeah, I bet you would. How about Martha Washington?
How about B. Arthur?
Or Barbara Bush? That'll do.
All right.
Yeah.
Junior, I hope.
Yeah, right. Barbara's Bush. 10:31. At 560 WQM. Let's see. Take a look at that lineup. Kill some time, man, because we got 40 minutes today, 39 to be exact. We got the Mad Dog at 2. We got a pristine lineup. The Humper at 4, who's going to tell you more about that sliced bologna they were peddling yesterday. That was a good line. And we got Geldy at 7, right?
All of these things.
Yeah, how do you like that? Geldy makes a guest appearances. He's back to that alternating kind of crap with the big... Because we have nobody else to put on tonight. We got no Panther games, which is probably... You know something? We'll do better ratings without the Panther games. You do know that, don't you? Even with Geldy and the big... Yeah, we will. And Eddie K at 10 o'clock to give you the odds on whether Geldy makes it past the end of the year. What do you think about that? Let's take a poll on that. Huh? In fact, let's take a poll on whether we make it past the end of the year in this place. 10:32 at 560 WQM. If you're looking in the mirror and thinking you could be looking a lot better if you took care of that hair loss and that big ugly bald spot, then get to that phone right now and call the best in the universe, Chuck Alfieri. Charlie's been helping the famous and the not-so-famous look their best for over 30 years now.
About 30, man.
But you wouldn't recognize Charlie's work when you see it because he's created the best, the most natural system in the business, which means it looks like real hair as opposed to a muskrat dyed on your head. Oh, man, there's nothing worse than a bad piece. Trust me. Just ask Aaron Brown. He'll tell you. Or Sam Donaldson. Or my good friend, whose was so embarrassing and bad he even ditched it. He tossed it in the ditch. Charles' new skin-like hair system is 100% undetectable. The hair looks like it's grown out of your scalp, like the real thing, as opposed to like a bed of straw. Charlie's work is guaranteed. You got nothing to lose but that bowling ball bald spot on your head, because here's how it works. You try Charlie's system for 30 days.
About 30, man.
About a month, and after a month, if you don't love the way it looks and feels and smells, if you're not getting lots and lots and lots of action, then return it for a full refund. No questions asked. Make the call today. Tell Charlie you heard about the whole deal on the Neil Rogers Show and get you your special $200 discount off the regular $800 price of the amazing, unbeatable natural hairline system. Here's the number to call toll-free. 1-800-321-2413. Charlie will bring your ass in, sit you down, show you just how much better and younger he can make you look. 1-800-321-2413. Or on the web, it's charlesalfieri.com. Call him right now, in no time at all. You'll be looking like a mensch. 1-800-321-2413.
The Howard Stern Show. Neil Rogers, mornings and middays. And sports around the clock. 560 QAM.
Howard David's a bitch.
Howard from Boca.
The pain from Wayne makes games go down the drain.
Yes, absolutely.
When Wayne explains his aims, my brain complains. Who's made sport ill-gotten gains? It's Wayne! It's Wayne! Whose acclaim has gone down in flames? It's Wayne! It's Wayne! The shame of Wayne was came upon my brain. I think he's lost it. The strain from Wayne made stains inside my haze. No!
22 till 11. Boy, I sure miss Jim Schuyler. You know, he was good.
Mm-hmm.
He just disappeared. Like, he went to Palm Beach, which is a good... That's like on the road to disappearing. Wouldn't you say?
Well, not for Randy.
Randy? Well, that's right. It was kind of like a step up. Well, she just kept moving north, though, and she went up to New York. See, she didn't stop too long of a pit stop.
Any further north, she'll be in Canada.
There you go. Well, there are a lot of people trying to come up now. Now, you see, you're trying to push me into using my material for after 11 o'clock.
No,
I'm not going to get sucked into that. Now, who are we putting out a beaded curtain now?
It's going to be Tara Reid from the very famous nip slip that we've been seeing on the news lately, and you can really, it's a good quality picture. You can really see the bad boob job she got.
Tara Reid.
Right.
Okay. Is she kin to Rex Reid?
No.
Greg Reid?
Reed Richards.
Oh. So Tara Reid will be on, so if you want to... Now, we didn't take the other one off here because I just looked at it again.
Got to get it, crop it, process it.
Okay, good. So you can take a quick look at Josephine Baker and you'll understand when we talk about carnivals and circuses and clowns, and it looks like something out of the silent pictures. She looks like Paula Negre, who was married to that Queen Rudolph Valentino, huh?
That's her era.
Well, yeah, that's her era. Well, it's not any of our listeners. It's not even my era. When you're putting people on older than me, I don't think anybody's going to get too titillated by it, if you catch my drift. Right? In fact, you could put me on there and be like a little more exciting than Josephine Baker. That's ridiculous. Just the picture of the... It doesn't look like a person. It looks like a blow-up doll, and a bad one. At least if you're going to have a blow-up doll, make it look attractive, right?
Like who?
Like anybody. Like Tara Reid.
Okay. She could qualify now.
I don't know anybody that would want a Josephine Baker blow-up doll. But anyway, Mozilla Firefox. Let's get her on there.
All right.
Mozilla Firefox. Now, you looked it up. See, first it was Britney Spears that I had to turn this man on to. He didn't have any idea what I was talking about. Then it was Bowling for Soup. He didn't have any idea what that song was or the video or anything about it or the parody they were playing. And now it's Firefox. Now, I'll confess, I didn't know nothing about it either because they just debuted. Was it yesterday or the day before? I think yesterday. They just cracked it out. And so I went online, and I checked it out, being curious as I am, and I discovered that since most of us hate Internet Explorer with, like, poison, because, first of all, it has to do with Microsoft, which has to do with Bill Gates, and anything that has to do with Bill Gates we despise.
It's the devil.
Yeah. And so I thought, I'll take a shot. So I went on there, installed it in about 10 seconds, and I took a puke at it, and it's about 400 times faster than Explorer. That's number one. Mm-hmm. Number two, you don't get any pop-up ads, any spam, any scam, and it's, like I said, like lightning, like greased lightning. And you don't get no viruses either. I mean, there's only, how many reasons you ought to use this?
About 30, man.
Yeah, plus the fact we all hate Bill Gates anyway. So when in doubt, check it out. The only thing I don't like about it, and again, it's not their fault, it's just that it's part of the Bill Gates conspiracy, is that my Alexa toolbar is designed to work only with Explorer. So
Right.
it's another one of those cons that Bill Gates puts over on you. If you want to use the Find Alexa toolbar and be able to send your email like in about 2 seconds and do these things, you have to use your Explorer, which I don't want to use the Explorer, but I haven't figured out a way yet to do it with the other thing.
It's easy. We'll walk you through it. The reason that Alexa won't work with it is because Firefox blocks spyware and Alexa
No.
spyware.
If you see, listen.
All right.
Alexa is designed to work with Microsoft, with the Explorer, okay? I tried that this morning. I got to read all about it.
But it is spyware. That's why Firefox doesn't want it working with it.
Well, that's why if you install one of those spyware killers even on your Explorer, it'll block it out,
right? Which
we've been through all of that. So anyway, Firefox, when in doubt, all you computer people, check it out. And the rest of you get with it already, will you? Good. I'm so sick and tired of waiting for those people to catch up. That's what Teresa said. She is a rag doll. No, seriously. I don't care what you say. He was dragging her around at that concession.
What I say.
Like a rag doll. And there's nothing worse than a rag doll that's stoned off her ass on top of it.
What did I say?
What?
I said she stoned off her ass.
Well, see, that's nothing new. Maybe she's spiking the ketchup. Who knows what's in it? WQAM, hello.
Hey, Neil, great show. Just want to remind everybody, George.
Yeah, okay, great. 5670560. Now, listen, we should have had some appointments if they would just tell us which days they were going to bail out early like that. We still got 18 minutes to kill, and we don't have like a whole bunch of calls coming in there. We should have some appointments for this half hour, just in case, just as a backup, because we don't officially start the show until 11 o'clock. 5670560. Boy, you talk about a town that's got no material, man. You people are... All these years I've been doing this here.
About 30, man.
And it's never changed. They have... Unless, of course, it's something with some good hate. Alien. Let's bring back Alien, you damn Cubans. Alien. I don't speak English. You know, that crap. That's all I can get into. WQAM, hello.
Hey, George.
Yeah.
Those 20 Xanax you wanted, I got for you, man. Just give me a call after the show.
Yeah, okay, great. WQAM, hello.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Neil, oh my God.
Mr. R. That's Mr. R to you, sir.
Well, I'm befuddled. It's my birthday. I haven't been on your show in 5 years. I'm coming up to Canada to join you, man. Let the crazy people have it. You know what I'm saying? I can't believe it. I'm in the blue and it's all going red. And wow, I'm just excited to be on the air with you, Neil.
Yeah, well, it wasn't too long, though. 5670560. Well, I don't want him to get too carried away. It sounded like he was on the verge of an accident in his pants or something. WQAM, hello. QAM?
Approximately 30, man.
All right.
That was South Florida, boy. That was it. That was exactly perfect. Nice job, Pally.
About 30, man.
Yeah, that was the South Florida version. WQAM, hello.
Yeah. Hello, Neil?
Yes, sir.
Neil, I'm a new listener. Thanks to Howard Stern.
Okay.
And another thing is, Neil, I want to be Neil for 30 days.
Yeah, okay, great. Good luck to you. Yeah, he wants to kneel for 30 days. Sounds to me like you got plenty of practice. 5670560. Pound 560
Rectum
on the Verizon Singular Wireless line. See, these are what it's all about, man. I say, let's forget about that political crap. We're not going to make any change. In fact, that second poll we're going to do today, that'll give them a chance to express themselves. Just like the website. I bet you if we put 10 more hot pictures on there, nudes every day, even people that nobody ever heard of before, forget about these famous people, we get 1,000 times the response on that website. Eric would be drowning in a sea of cash from the website, huh?
Right.
Don't you think?
By the way, the new picture is up there.
Well, let me take a peek, okay? You certainly got to be a step up.
You can really see the scar.
Baker, the candlestick maker. Let's take a look at Tara Reid, who's got a really nasty face, but a big boob. Just one.
Kind of the opposite.
What?
She's got a nice face, but a
No, she doesn't
boob.
have a nice face at all. She's got a nasty, bony face and a bad nose. Well, I'm telling you, man, I know this really good ophthalmologist. He can do wonders for you. She is scabby looking.
All right.
She's not attractive, but she's a hell of a lot better than Josephine Baker. Like I said, she's hot. She is smoking, man, smoldering like a volcano compared to Josephine Baker. WQAM or Screw-Ann. QAM, hello.
Yes, can I talk to Neil?
Speaking.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
You gotta play that Oprah thing again with the 3-foot helper monkey.
Oh, I love that thing.
That thing is the funniest
I think it's called Oprah Giveaways.
On the next Oprah, you'll be shocked. You'll be amazed. You'll be talking about it for the next however long until she shocks you again. Oprah makes your wildest dreams come true. Today, everyone in the studio audience, all 276 members, get a brand new liver.
Everybody gets a liver! Everybody gets a liver!
Then, tomorrow, all 276 studio audience members get a brand new uvula.
Everybody gets a brand new uvula! Everybody gets a brand new uvula!
The next day, all 276 members of the studio audience get a 3-foot helper monkey.
Everybody gets a 3-foot helper monkey! Everybody gets a 3-foot helper monkey!
The next day, all 276 audience members get a new prosthetic arm.
Everybody gets a prosthetic arm! Everybody gets a prosthetic arm!
Oprah, giving away great stuff she didn't have to pay for it, even though she could easily afford to. And next season, everybody in the studio audience gets Stedman.
Everybody gets Stedman! Everybody gets Stedman!
No, you can keep them. Anyway, Josephine Baker, now that we Schmidt canned her off of our website, but just out of curiosity, since I took the time to load my pants with this, she was born June 3rd, 1906, which if she were still alive, which there's no chance that she is, she's dead on a doornail, that would make her 88. But unfortunately for Josephine, she died April 12th in 1975 in Paris, France. She was born in St. Louis, by the way, in Missouri.
Okay.
But she died in Gay Paris of a cerebral hemorrhage. And she was born to a laundress, Carrie McDonald, and Eddie Carson, a musician. He used to sing That Old Man River. He used to sing that at the, what's the name of that Italian restaurant that we like so much?
Oh. I know what it is.
The one where we ate in Plantation that time. What's the name of that? Macaroni Grill.
Oh.
See, I mean, when I can remember it and you can't, that goes to show you, you're going in the wrong direction, mister. Probably from working in that place. See, that's one of the benefits of being out of that building and being there very, very seldom, is that I don't have to put up, I mean, it's bad enough what they export up to here, the stress and the grief and the tourists and the whining and gnashing and carrying on like a bunch of overgrown children. But it's the fact that when you're there, that last week I was there, boy, that convinced me. Don't be doing this again soon. Don't be doing it again anytime soon, and I won't. Anyway, she was in all kinds of crap. She was in Moulin Rouge, not the one you're thinking about, the one in 1940, before any of us were born. Anyway, so she died in 75, which is like, how many years ago?
About 30, man.
Almost. So I don't think we want to be putting nudie pictures on there of people that died, especially now that John Ashcroft is stepping aside. He's, just like Dave Wannstedt. He's stepping aside. That's what he's doing. Huh?
Yeah.
I mean, well, Mr. H said this and Mr. H said that. That Eddie Jones thing, man, that was so embarrassing yesterday. I mean, what was that all about?
Take off those checkered pants.
Yeah, quit walking around like some kind of an old fart from a condo, will you, Eddie? With all the money you've got? It's pathetic. But anyway, the Dolphins are like trying to give you a song and a dance, and about they got Norman Bates now, who's going to give everybody a free night at his motel, and they can meet Mom. It'll be great. 567-0560, pound 560 on the Verizon and Singular wireless lines. How about that, Tony Perkins? Huh?
What about?
Hey, Tony, by the way, before you leave.
You're gay.
Yeah, I just thought I'd say that. There's another one that they thought he had everybody fooled, They married him off. He had a couple of kids. At least somebody had a couple of kids with his wife. Who do you think is making all them babies with people's wives? Like David Cassidy's wife and Rob Lowe's wife? And
Me.
Oh, is that it? No wonder you're busy. WQAM, hello. Why do you have a habit of making unwanted babies? QAM, hello.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, can you play, Nobody Talks English Anymore?
Boy, I didn't realize this is all request hour. That's a good idea, you know what?
That's hilarious.
It's Bob and Tom, and they're great.
It's
hilarious.
Jumped in a taxi cab, I said, driver, Central Park. He looked at me so quizzically, I could tell he was an adult. So I acted out my pop charade, and with my arms the trees I made. Nobody speaks English anymore. I went down to Miami Beach where the weather is nice and sunny. I walked into a liquor store, but the guy there talks real funny. I asked him for a pint of
Old Jim Beam, he says, no entiendo. What does that mean? Nobody speaks English anymore. At the corner deli. Hell, I think I'm in Pakistan. Speak English, Smelly. Or you can go back to Iran. I came here many years ago. Learned my ABCs. I don't say muchas gracias. I say pretty please. So get yourself to a classroom quick. You're in America now. Stop making me sick. Nobody speaks English anymore.
Yeah, that's a good idea. We'll make some appointments for just in case we have this extra time before Howard, before 11 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
And we can, not only take a few of your calls we have appointments for, but even throw a few requests in there as well in the warm-up show. It's kind of unusual when you do your own warm-up. It would be like being the lead-in, like on stage, like Aerosmith is performing or some famous band, and they're their own lead-in. See what I'm saying? It's kind of unheard of is what it is. But here on QM, we do a lot of things that are unheard of.
Hey, Rocco, stop faxing.
What's Rocco faxing? Long faxes again?
Story.
We don't want it, Rocco. What's it about? Some of that more serious end-of-the-world kind of stuff?
About the doctors not prescribing birth control pills because of the Christian doctors, stuff we already
go away, Rocco, okay? Jam it. Stick it, okay? Get lost. Stuff it. Put a sock on it. In it. Up it. You people that think we're going to, solve the problems of the world here on this stupid-ass radio show, on this stupid-ass radio station, with its crappy AM stupid-ass signal, man, you people must be nuts. You must be crazy. God almighty, you're starting to remind me a little bit of that little twerp, that John Henry.
I must be crazy. I must be nuts.
At least he won the freaking World Series anyway, or something, right?
Something.
And gave John Kerry the nice T-shirt. Look at all the good that did him. WQAM, hello.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Hey, what's up?
How you doing? You sound pretty depressed.
Oh, well, I want to thank you and George for your persistence in trying to educate.
Well, let me just tell you one thing we've learned. Persistence pays off. Not.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Especially
I'm still a little sad.
Especially in the red states, man.
I just want to thank you guys. I think, it didn't do much, but we tried.
Yeah, well, we did our best. Hey, listen, we kicked ass in Dade, Broward, Palm Beach, and Lee counties, man, and Monroe. What more can you want, huh? Maybe if we had a better signal, we could, huh?
I think that's what made the difference with our, with the southern counties. So.
And not only that, but I certainly put that Amendment 4 over the top. No question about it. I want my own slot machine at Pompano Park.
Did that go through? I wasn't sure.
Yes, it passed by almost 100,000 votes once they decided the machine was going to keep counting forward instead of backward. Yeah.
Well, good job. The only thing that messes me up is I went to sleep on that Tuesday in America and woke up in the homeland. I didn't have to be a citizen of the homeland.
Very well said, my friend.
All right, have a good day.
Okay, get in line and get them boots straightened out, okay? Strap them up real tight. He went to bed in America and woke up in the homeland. I love it. That was cute, wasn't it?
You understand to be subtle, keep track of everyone.
Amen. That was a lovely thing. Okay, let's get the thing on the road. Okay, we'll do the break a little bit early here, and then we'll get the show on the road at 11 o'clock. In fact, maybe we'll condition the audience to start tuning in a couple of minutes before 11 o'clock, just in case we might be here, although you never know. See, we're used to that part of it, that thing yesterday, though. That was absolutely unacceptable. It was just a butcher job, If we want bologna, we can call up Oscar Mayer. We can call up our friends at the deli. We can call your buddies at Atlantic City Subs, get all the bologna we want. As opposed to that phony. Everybody knew Wannstedt was out. It was in the papers in the morning. Everybody knew about it. Oh, no, but we're the Dolphins station. And the worst part of it is when they shut my pot off, man, there's nothing worse than having your pot cut off.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, right. No, seriously, when they did that, that was an act. That was like a declaration of war on their part. And, of course, I've already declared it here. So we have full-fledged war going on back and forth now. We don't want that needle to drop it in them things and pissing off the Dolphin organization. What the hell do you care, okay? You put Stern on in the morning, which supposedly was going to piss off the organization, even though they carry him in Philly on the station that carries the Eagle game, so that's just a bunch of baloney. See, there's the baloney factor again. All the baloney you could eat with no extra charge, with no mustard or relish, and just I wanted to step aside, and Mr. H said that you're full of crap. Okay, it was a half hour of lies is what it was. Half-hour dog and pony show. And then they bring this Norman Bates on here who really... Is there anybody in their right mind that really believes he's going to be the coach of the Dolphins next season?
No.
Not a Chinaman's chance. No chance. Is there anybody who believes the Spielmeister is going to be back?
No.
No chance. But, geez, at least we could have spiced it up a little bit. Yesterday I was dropping in some beautiful stuff in there, but, things like...
You turd!
It would have been great. People would have been peeing in their pants. But, no, we can't laugh at this. This is sports, Neil. You don't understand. We have to take this deathly serious. We don't want to get Mr. H upset. Oh, and by the way, Mr. H, I know all about those broadcast rights. I know all that story, too. Yeah. I know something about Mr. H and that whole thing with the Marlins and the Dolphins that could really that could explode. Talk about a firefly.
Yeah. No band leader.
Yeah, that's right. Even Luca Brasi, his eyes would pop out hearing that story. The good, upstanding Mr. H.
That's a true story.
Yeah. It's my family, Kay, not me. It's my family. 10:56 at 560 WQAM, where we lie like crazy. If you're expecting guests this Thanksgiving, it's not the turkey that makes the meal special, it's the people. Make sure your guests sleep just as comfortably as you do by calling Dial a Mattress at 1-800-MATTRESS. Whether they plan weeks in advance or just show up without warning, you can get them just the right mattress the very same day. Now, when you call 1-800-MATTRESS, you'll save an additional 20% on select models while supplies last, and you can choose from all the top names in the universe like Sealy, Inserta, Simmons, King Coil, Stearns, Bananas, Foster, and Tempur-Pedic, too. When you call 1-800-MATTRESS, you'll get same-day delivery and pick the date and time for delivery to fit your schedule. You just pick a 2-hour window, and then you just jump right out of it, like between 1 and 3, 2 and 4, whenever it's convenient for you. And Dial Mattress is mighty proud and ought to be of their 99.7 on-time service record. They're ranked #1 in the world at customer satisfaction, and Dial Mattress won the 2004 Better Business Bureau Local Torch of Excellence Award. That's how outstanding they be. So before those guests show up for the holidays or whatever the deal might be, call 1-800-MATTRESS. It's the easiest and smartest piece of shopping you'll ever do. I've been using these folks for years. Check them on the wicked web at mattress.com, or better yet, make that call right now. You'll be sleeping like a baby as soon as tonight. 1-800-MATTRESS, 1-800-MATTRES.
Listen to Neil Rogers exclusively. 560 QAM.
This is the Neil Rogers Show. This is your brain. Any questions?
Ramadan, 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 Ramadan. It means a lot to me. Ramadan, Ramadan, Ramadan. I'm bowing on my knees so I can wear and wine. I'm a Muslim all the way. I pray for angels that do teach in USA. My religion says that you must die. In the sky, on your next slide, I want you to die today. Ramadan, Ramadan, Ramadan. Allah is proud of me. Ramadan, Ramadan, Ramadan. I follow brainlessly with no regard for human life. Bow, 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 Ramadan. 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 Bow, bow. Ramadan, 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 Ramadan. Bow, 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 Ramadan.
Happy Ramadan. Let's kill some people. It's 11:03 at 560 WQAM. Happy Wednesday to you. Let's kill a bunch of people and celebrate the holidays. Kind of like what they do on the 4th of July in Hialeah. Anyway, okay, we better rush into this, okay, because we got 2 polls today, one the first hour. Let's rush into it. Pop a couple for Wilma. 1,715 votes on yesterday's poll. Now, they didn't like the poll yesterday. Didn't I tell you that? Mm-hmm. Although I don't think that had so much to do with it as the fact we had a spastic show that was on for 20 minutes and then off for half an hour for baloney. Lots of baloney, man. If you could be any famous living person for a month, who would you be? Hugh Hefner, 447. See, people don't understand it. I was telling George before the show today how sad that is. We're talking about right now, any person now, not as Hugh Hefner was like 20 years ago, or even maybe...
About 30, man.
Not that, but like right now, who's an impotent old man who couldn't get up with 10 Cialises and 20 Viagras, okay? So you're, they don't get it. Brittany's husband, 232. Now, that's a little bit closer to the bone. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Bill Gates, 168. Richard Branson, 154. That was George's choice. Brad Pitt, 142. Bill Clinton, 110, tied with Tom Brady. Tom Brady was my choice, of course, for just about anything you can name. Donald Trump, 85. Tiger Woods, 76. Although I will say this. Remember we had the Tom Brady naked in the locker room picture a couple weeks ago?
Yeah.
All the fag websites got a hold of that. They were, it was not what you call a very exciting picture.
No.
You know what I mean? No, seriously, because he's got a pretty face, you know, just like, oh, and guess what was on the other day? And it must have been in honor of the election.
Deliverance.
There you go. Yeah. I forget what channel it was on. Oh, and I'll tell you what channel it was on, and wait till you hear how embarrassing this is. It was on A&E, which I love A&E, and guess what they kept doing? They were bleeping out the words. You know, when they were up in the woods there?
Mm-hmm.
Panties. You know, they were doing the whole thing. They bleeped out every one of the four-letter words. On A&E, no less.
Did they bleep out the word corn?
Whole.
Oh.
Yeah, they bleeped out the whole thing. Anyway, getting back to this. Yeah, Deliverance. That's in honor of the red states, okay, all you inbred red state mugwumps. Bill Clinton, 110. Tom Brady, 110. Donald Trump, 85. You're fired at it. You're fired at it. Although, of course, in the world of Mr. H, you resigned. But you're fired at it. Tiger Woods, 76. Jack Nicholson, 45. See, in the world of White House, you resign whether you want to or not, which is another way of saying you're fired at it, but it sounds so much more genteel and gentile. Tiger Woods, 76. Jack Nicholson, 45. Jay-Z had 38. Paris Hilton, 36. In fact, Tara Reid looks a little like Paris Hilton with a little better nose. Although not a good nose, but a better one than her. Shaq, 25. Sting, 22. Vanessa Paradis, 16, because she's married to Johnny Depp. And a lot of people want to get... And Tyson Beckford, 9. So let's see, we had how many women on... we had Paris Hilton and Vanessa... Well, we only had a couple of females on there, right?
Right.
And between the two of them, they had like 54 votes. We just don't have any women, that's all. It's the way it is at QAM. Tara Reid, though, is a woman. Not nearly as attractive as George thinks she is. Or maybe that's just a bad picture, because the picture I have here, she looks a lot better.
No, I stand by my assertion.
What, that she's hot?
She's hot.
No, she's not hot.
Okay.
See, yeah, well, I don't want to go into it.
Of course not.
No.
No,
seriously. If you consider that hot, then, hey, listen, no wonder you got so much action going on. She was born November 8, 1975, which means, look at this, that 2 days ago she was 29. How do you like that? And the picture, like I said, from IMDb I have here, with the clothes on, but she looks much better. She was born in Wyckoff, New Jersey.
Wyckoff?
She's been in, well, actually she's doing now, in pre-production, Land of Canaan. She's completed Alone in the Dark, which is where George is going to be very soon. The Wicked Prayer. Knots. Just, do you ever hear a movie like that?
Knots?
Knots, not Knots Landing or Don Knotts, but just knots. Like my stomach is tied in knots right now after what you said moments ago. My Boss's Daughter, Devil's Pond, Van Wilder. They don't come no wilder than Van. American Pie 2. Josie and the Pussycats. Uh-oh, boy, we're having problems here. Just Visiting. Dr. T and the Women. Don't send this tape to Joyce, by the way. She'll be hyperventilating. Body Shots. American Pie, the first one. Around the Fire. Cruel Intentions. We did that, what we did that night. Urban Legend. Oh, that's right. She was in Urban Legend, which is a very marginal movie, by the way. But who's in that I like? Jared Leto?
Yeah, I don't know.
Isn't he?
I don't know.
Well, hang on a second.
All right.
You didn't?
No.
Yeah, here it is. Here's Urban Legend right here, and I was right. Jared Leto is in there, looking a lot better than he looked a little bit anorexic with Sarah there. In Requiem.
Right. Well, that was for the role there.
I understand, but he looks just fine here, Jared Leto. Now, who is it that he was supposedly doing recently? You keep reading these tabloids, and he was split up with this one and split up with that. I can't keep track of it, and I guess probably neither can he.
I forgot.
But anyway, there she is. She's in there. Tara Reid and Jared Leto and a whole bunch of Alicia Witt and her brother Nick. And Rebecca, and I tell you, Rebecca De Mornay looks just like Hillary Clinton. So anyway, there she is, Tara Reid, and she's on our beaded curtain. We got John Ashcroft still looking on, even though he's stepping aside. He stepped aside. Okay, this is a cute thing. Oh, let's do the first poll till noon, okay? I got it up there already. And the reason I'm doing this, now let me take a look at the Sun Sentinel, okay? At their website, because I want to give you the up-to-date number. There's a story. Florida Southern Baptists want a constitutional ban on gay unions. Okay? Now, let me just take a look. They took a poll in the Sun Sentinel, and the first 1,000 votes looked really ugly. I mean, considering that Broward is the most liberal county in the state of Florida by far. By far. Let's see. Oh, I get a chance to vote again. Oh, they didn't catch on to me, huh? Would you vote for an amendment that banned gay marriage in the state of Florida? 2,691 responses in the Sun Sentinel poll. 48.2% say yes, 50.1% say no, and 1.7% not sure. The same people, no matter what the question is, they're just not sure, as in what's a gay marriage. Like that. So that's a little bit promising. But again, in the beginning, it was like 64% said yes, oh yeah, what do I get to vote on that? And I'm going to say it again. If the people in the South had a chance to vote on civil rights for blacks, I mean, overwhelmingly it would be, no, put it back in the to pick cotton, that kind of stuff. But that's okay. So here's our first poll until noon, and then we got a very important programming poll from noon till tomorrow. Would you vote for a state ban on gay marriages? Yes, absolutely. No, or don't know. Just 3 choices there. We want to make it easy for you. And, of course, the don't know is a cop-out. See, I never can figure those people out, the ones that always say, I don't know, not sure, don't have an opinion, I'm indifferent. Let's see, no 24, yes, absolutely 4, and don't know 1. That's because people are sucking up to me, okay? I don't really care. I'm not planning on getting married this week, or next week, or the week after. But the reason we're taking that poll is because a state constitutional ban on same-sex marriages will soon go before the legislature and voters for approval if the state Southern Baptists get their way. Those bigots, those Farbissina Goyim. Because good old-time religion, baby, that's what it's all about. Hate. Who's the scapegoat du jour? Is it the dark people, the fag people, the women? Who is it? The Florida Baptist Convention, which is holding its 150th annual meeting in Jacksonville, is expected to call for the passage of a state constitutional amendment upholding the biblical definition of a marriage between one man and one woman. The biblical definition. The Bible, that good book that was written by primitive idiots thousands of years ago. That tells you that the world was created by God 5,000 years ago. Even though, of course, anybody with an IQ larger than their thumbnail knows better than that. But don't confuse us with that evil hocus pocus. It's the work of Satan, we know that. We're going to begin some type of process of saying we want to see a state marriage amendment similar to what was passed in other states this election, said the Reverend Tommy Green, pastor of the First Baptist Church in Brandon and the outgoing president of the 1 million-member convention. On Election Day, voters in 11 states, as we know, approved bans on same-sex marriages, including in Ohio, which was the difference I'm thinking in the presidential election. So if you want to blame somebody for the way that Bush won again, blame the fags. The amendments passed in Mississippi, Montana, and Oregon referred only to marriage, specifying that it should be limited to unions between one man and one woman. The measures in Arkansas, Georgia, Kentucky, Michigan, North Dakota, Ohio, Oklahoma, and Utah called for a ban on civil unions as well. In other words, really bigoted, not just like, And on Friday, the Texas Board of Education approved the new health textbooks that define marriage as a lifelong union between a man and a woman. And, of course, we know that the institution of marriage is going so strong in America with only about a 55 or 60% divorce rate.
Right.
That what's not to like, right?
They're all lifelong.
Yeah, that's right. Lifelong commitment. So that's the poll we're taking the first hour. And we'll get in a whole bunch of calls. I think we got the appointment book looks pretty full for today. No, so it's a good thing they had that stupid-ass press conference, that baloney, the pony baloney thing yesterday. Because we don't have time for that crap today. And that was crap, man. That was a half an hour of pure unadulterated swill. And then, of course, the thing I always like best about those press conferences is when the reporters, there's no microphone for the reporters. So when they ask the question, and you can't understand a word that's being said. It's a really great radio, Yeah, right. But don't confuse our sportsocracy with it, because they're very, they're very dedicated to that. That's their bread and butter.
Sports.
Just ask them. That's their lost leader. 11:13 at 560 WQAM. Do you have guests coming for the holidays? Are you wondering what to do with that dirty old carpeting in your home that looks so bad and embarrassing? Now's the time to get rid of that carpet and replace it with laminate or hardwood flooring from Laminate Designs. Visit Laminate Designs Showroom. You'll find them at 8280 State Road 84 in Davie, and there you can choose from over 300 samples on display. Laminate Designs can have your beautiful new floor professionally installed in just about a week. Call them today, 1-877-8-LAMINATE, LAMINATE, to set up a free no-obligation in-home estimate. Laminate Designs carry all the well-known lines, including Wilson Art, Quickstep, and Pergo. And if you call today and set up an appointment for your free estimate, tell them you want the WQM discount for an additional 10% off their already low, unbeatable installation price. Laminate Designs, you'll find them in Davie, just off I-595 between Pine Island and University Drive. And the showroom is open Monday through Saturday. Laminate Designs, the flooring company where service comes first.
You're listening to Neil Rogers. 560 QAM.
Wannstedt is dumbfounded.
And I'm going to tell you something right now, and you can mark it down. If Broward County would change their mind and decide they wanted to build this facility, I will not play here. Because I will not have you guys looking at me for the next 10 years saying, here's a guy that said one thing and went out and did something else.
I supported Bush after that tragic day, and to my surprise, disgust and shame, he let the sorties eliminate him get away, and shifted the blame to Saddam Hussein. We're occupying Iraq. They're not the ones who attack. What's going on with this crap? We're occupying Iraq. Defense contractors are having fun as we spread freedom to the point of a gun. The blood money profits have only just begun for KBRGE and Halliburton.
And the Ashcroft picture's great.
Kids to die, and the drooling hundreds still support this guy. An advanced stage of syphilis must be the reason why they believe George Bush is Jesus Christ. We're occupying Iraq. Hey, how about that? They're not the ones who attack. What's going on with this crap? We're occupying Iraq. Boy, George, why do you take so many vacations?
You know, it's hard work. It's hard work. Everybody knows it's hard work. We've done a lot of hard work. I see on the TV screens how hard it is. Yeah,
it's 11:19 at 560 WQAM. Happy Wednesday to you. The Ashcroft picture is perfect for the beaded curtain.
No, it is moving, isn't it? On yours?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Where here it says resign. First, I thought it had something to do with a prisoner, because it's got the big, it's got his picture there, Ashcroft, and it says resign, and then it says but still watching. I love that.
Thank you,
so
Albert.
I'll stick that on there. Thank you, Robert, and
Albert.
who's the other one? Albert. Robert and Albert, and Albert and Robert, and Jimmy and Danny and Jimmy, and Jay and Mr. H. Field Guide to Canada. This is a cute little thing they had on the editorial page in the Toronto Star yesterday, since everybody and their brother now from the... See, I'm looking at the results on our poll, and I'm thinking to myself, as much as we got a lot of goofballs out there, especially on the phone, but, you know, mostly callers are goofballs anyway. But if the U.S. could better represent, like, our audience, see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. If that demographic, if these people, if this mentality could be like the 95% of the USA, first of all, we wouldn't have George W. Bush, we wouldn't have John Ashcroft, we wouldn't have Carl Roving Maniac. We'd be like living and breathing people. And not everybody and their brother from the blue states would be trying to schlep up here. Would you vote for a state ban on gay marriages? 132 votes, no 107, 81%. Yes, absolutely 19, 14%, and don't know 6. Don't know, but a limit like that. Anyway, this is Field Guide to Canada from the Toronto Star yesterday. It's cute. It's short. I don't want to start reading a bunch of long stuff, because Miguel might be listening, but I doubt it. The re-election of U.S. President George W. Bush has driven some Americans to gaze wistfully north. As a service to our U.S. readers, we offer a primer on what to expect when crossing the Peace Bridge for good. 1. In Canada, bush is a term that refers to the wilderness, which is the only place guns are allowed. 2. Our country is a union of the French and the English. Given Henry VIII and all that, you can see why we've never claimed to be a nation united under God. 3. Unlike their U.S. counterparts, Canadian senators are not elected, but the distinction is not as great as it might first appear because we take our senators no more seriously than Americans took Carey and Edwards. 4. Unlike the U.S., there is no separation between our executive and legislative branches of government. Here, the leader of the party with the most legislators becomes prime minister. In practice, that means our leader does not have to negotiate with Parliament to do whatever your president wants. 5. The PM's wife is the closest Canada comes to a first lady, but we've no idea if Sheila Martin bakes cookies or not. And 6. You have football, baseball, basketball, and hockey. So do we, except many of us don't normally count the first 3. That's a little primer there for you for those who are planning coming north, eh? That's the first thing you learn when you want to be friendly, and you will be friendly and polite when you come here. You'll leave that attitude behind at the border. You'll check it at the border, and you'll say, how's it going, eh? And they'll look at you and say, who the hell are you kidding? Anyway, this other thing is kind of cute. It says the number of U.S. citizens visiting Canada's main immigration website has shot up 6-fold, as Americans flirt with the idea of abandoning their homeland. Oh, see, they woke up in the homeland. after President Bush's election win last week. When we looked at the first day after the election, November 3rd, our website hit a new high, almost double the previous record high, Immigration Ministry spokeswoman Maria Izzardi, or whatever her name is, said on Friday. On an average day, some 20,000 people in the U.S. log on to the website, www.cic.gov.ca, whatever that stands for. A figure which skyrocketed to 115,000 on Wednesday, the day after the election. The number of U.S. visits settled down to 65,803 on Thursday, still well above the norm. Bush's victory sparked speculation that disconsolate Democrats and others might decide to start a new life in Canada, a land that tilts more to the left than the U.S. Would-be immigrants to Canada can apply to become permanent residents, a process that often takes a year. The other main way to move north on a long-term basis is find a job which requires a work permit. But please spare the sob stories. Ask whether an applicant would be looked upon more sympathetically if they claim to be a sad Democrat seeking to escape 4 more years of Bush. Izzardi, whatever her name is, said there would be no weight given to statements of feelings. Canada is one of the few major nations with a large-scale immigration policy. In fact, Ottawa is seeking to attract between 220 and 240,000 newcomers next year. Let's face it, we have a population of a little over 32 million, and we definitely need permanent residents to come to Canada, she said. If we could meet the 2005 target and go above it, the more the merrier. But right now it's too early to say whether the increased interest will result in more applications. There is no unusual activity occurring at our visa missions in the U.S. Having someone who intends to come to Canada is not the same as somebody actually putting in an application, she said. We'll only find out whether there's been an increase in about 6 months in applications. The waiting time to become a citizen is shorter for people married to Canadians, which prompted the birth of a satirical website called marriedandamerican.ca, or marryinamerican.ca. The idea of increased immigration by unhappy Americans is triggering some amusement in Canada. Commentator Thane Burnett of the Ottawa Sun newspaper wrote a tongue-in-cheek guide to would-be citizens on Friday. As Canadians, you'll have to learn to embrace and use all the products and culture of Americans while bad-mouthing their way of life, he said. That's cute. So come on up, or not, eh? Okay, let's get some of these calls in here because we have a heavy appointment book. 567-0560, pound 560 on the Verizon and Singular wireless line. Thank God we got rid of that Josephine Baker picture on there. Whatever possessed you? Was it the spirit of Christ or what?
She's a famous broad who is showing her cans. That's all.
So let me say it again. So was Betsy Ross a famous broad, okay?
If Arthur showed them, I'd put them up there.
I'll tell you somebody else who's even more famous than either one of them.
Oprah.
You want to see her can?
Sure,
I don't
why
think
not?
so.
Let's see him.
God, what
are you
thought.
packing, honey?
I say stick her ass in the can. WQAM, hello.
Hi, Neil.
Yes, sir.
I totally agree with you on Tom Brady. He's so hot.
Yeah, okay, great. That's Reverend Jones. Mm-hmm. WQAM, hello.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Neil. Can you play the Brian, you happy routine?
No, we can't. WQM, what is this with these requests all of a sudden? The show is underway now. This is the real show. This ain't the request hour. Okay, let's hear some of your grade A material. I just got through complimenting our audience out there, and look what we're getting here. These people don't even have appointments. QAM, hello.
Hey, Neil. How you doing, buddy?
All right, Pally.
All right, I got 11:30 appointment.
Yeah.
Hey,
that's okay. You're 5 minutes early.
All right, cool. You're on time at least. And you or George know anybody who wants to buy a 3-foot helper monkey? There's really no help at all. I sent him out for a pack of cigarettes.
WQAM, hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes, sir.
I'm listening to 940, just loving them whining and crying and bitching and moaning.
Well, good. Go back to it then. QAM, hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Hey, I can't believe that Ashcroft actually is out. I mean, and it's kind of scary because then it makes you wonder who are they going to get to take over his position.
Herman Goering, he's making a comeback. He said if it's good enough for Arafat, it's good enough for me.
You're listening to Neil Rogers on 560 QAM.
Holy Mackinac! This is Joe Bowen, the voice of the Toronto Maple Leafs, and you're listening to the hockey authority, Neil God.
Also undefeated, by the way, the Leafs and the Panthers. How do you like that? All right. Do you like Boots-a-lot? Yes. Boots-a-lot, Boots-a-lot. I like Boots-a-lot. Really like Boots-a-lot. I like Boots-a-lot. Boots-a-lot, Boots-a-lot. I like Boots-a-lot. Down in the locker room, just three boys. Eating down the locker room with all that noise. Singing, do you like Boots-a-lot? I like Boots-a-lot. Boots-a-lot, Boots-a-lot. I like Boots-a-lot. Do you wear your chocolate? Yes, I wear my Speaking of that, John Ashcroft is that word on CNN. He's covering up the Britneys right now, man. He's got the old drop cloth. He's dropping them. And his pants, too. Panties? 11:33:27. Oh, man, I can see him in Aintree. Would you vote for a state ban on gay marriage? 265 votes, 265. 216 say no, 81.5%. Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely.
40, 15%, and don't know 9, 3.3%. They need to know a little bit more about it. They're like gay curious. 5670560. Don't you love that expression, bi-curious?
Yeah.
I mean, who the hell are you kidding me? When somebody says they're bi-curious, they're trying to tell you they're... Who the hell are you kidding? Oh, I'm not homo, but I'm bi-curious. Yeah, right. Go buy this. Man, who are you schmitten? Not fooling this old fag, I'll tell you that. WQAM, hello.
Yeah, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Hey, listen, I've watched...
By the way, this caller is 2 minutes early for his appointment. Nice job, sir.
Yeah. Hey, I've watched The Godfather hundreds of times. And there's something that I still can't figure out. And that's after the meeting where...
your brain is going soft.
Go ahead.
Where...
And don't forget, by the way...
Where Don Corleone tells Tom Hagen...
Wait a minute. What'd you call him? Don Corleone.
Don Corleone.
Don Corleone.
Yeah. When he says to Tom Hagen...
Let's get a little more schmaltzy, man. The real Italiano. Don Corleone.
Well, when he says to Tom Hagen, Tatalia is a pimp. Right. I didn't know it till today, but it was Barzini all along.
Barzini all along, right.
Okay, the question I got is, how did he figure that out? Or what
because of the meeting. They just came from the meeting of the 5 families, don't you remember?
Okay, but what happened at the meeting that made him determine that?
Barzini opened up a big mouth.
Right, because Barzini got up, and he was the one that really made the ultimate. And don't you remember, it wasn't Tattaglia that came over and gave Don Corleone the hug of the kiss of death. It was Barzini all along that did it. He came over to give the big hug, and everybody like that. Don't you remember?
Yes.
Tattaglia was just a pimp. It was Barzini all along. And don't forget about Barzini. He had that nice jacket, a nice suit, but they don't look too good anymore.
And Tattaglia could have never outfoxed Santino.
That's right. Now you're catching on.
Okay, I got it.
Okay.
Thanks.
Nice job, Pally.
All right.
And don't forget one thing, by the way. Please. What?
I don't care how many Dago, Guinea, what greaseball Goombas come out of the woodwork.
You know who I am? I'm Mo Green. I made my bones when you were going out with cheerleaders.
I'm going to make him an offer, Cameron.
How's Paulie doing?
Oh, Paulie, won't see him no more. She was beautiful. She was young. She was innocent. She was the greatest piece of ass I ever had, and I've had them all over the world.
I'm smart. Not like everybody said. But dumb. I'm smart. I want the state.
Hey, Fredo.
You're taking this very personally.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Father.
Anyway, see, how do we get off on that? That's all.
Easily.
There's never too much Godfather, man. Just remember that one thing. There's never too much of the Godfather. Join George Miguel and Boca Brian 5 to 7 at Treasure Island with Stephanie Evans. She's going to be. There was a lot of shooting in the Godfather. She's going to be shooting right at you. Ping pong balls, baby, golf balls, and all kinds of balls will be shooting in all directions at Treasure Island. Sounds pornographic to me. Oh, Schmidt can't. No, the music would be good for this story. Keep it going. At least 2 members of Iraqi interim Prime Minister Ayad Alawi's family, you know, that's the American stooge, the CIA stooge, have been kidnapped at gunpoint from their home in Baghdad, amid conflicting reports from government officials and sources close to the family. See, that's why that Godfather, the family. A group called Ansar al-Jihad has claimed responsibility for the kidnapping on a website. The group demanded the release of all Iraqi prisoners and an end to the attacks on Fallujah within 48 hours. It said the hostages would be beheaded if its demands were not met. Oh, no. You see, things aren't going quite as well as we were told.
Oh, my God! It's a severed head!
See, there seems to be an epidemic of this crap going down over there, you know? Ansar al-Jihad has made several claims for attacks before, but this is its first claim for kidnapping. The website previously used to post claims from the group claimed there were 3 hostages. An Alawi advisor and a source close to the family also said 3 family members were abducted. So it's a question of who you believe, but the Alawis ought to know. Huh? But Alawi's office today said it was aware of only 2 family members, his cousin Ghazi Alawi, 75, and his cousin's daughter-in-law. It sounds a lot like The Godfather, you know? See the whole deal.
A lot of cousins.
Yeah. Anyway, it's 20 till noon at 560 WQAM. We're going to change the poll at noon. Because see, I think this worked out fine because you don't need to take this one forever. The percentage ain't going to change that much. Obviously, we've got an open-minded, enlightened audience out there that would much prefer to live in the blue states. In fact, it wouldn't be surprising to me that most of our audience probably is from the blue states. Right?
Right.
And now being in Florida, they're feeling mighty blue, which I can't blame you. Although, watch out for that blue dress. You know, did you see that clip of Bubba speaking yesterday? He didn't look good on that.
No, well, he's, yeah.
No, I realize that he's ill and he just had the bypass and the whole deal, but he looked better when he spoke in Philly with Kerry a week and a half ago, whatever it was. He looked not too good. And Arafat, he ain't looking good at all. I've never, you know, next to Catherine Harris, this guy has had more deaths already. It's unbelievable. How many lives has he got, for crying out loud?
About 30, man.
Jesus Christ almighty. And I'm not making those up either. They keep coming off the wire services. That's twice in just a few days. Is it Arafat's dead? And this was supposed to be from the Palestinian. And it wouldn't surprise me if he is already dead. They're just trying to figure out how to divvy up the cash. And you notice that money-grabbing bitch wife of his?
Oh, yeah, well.
She's in there. We haven't seen her ever before. Never before. And all of a sudden she's like prominent and running around. And why? Because she wants possession of the body. Because that's like, if she's got possession of the body, that means she can get a big chunk of that hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars that he embezzled. I mean, that he siphoned off.
He's got it hidden?
Yeah, that's correct. So she's trying to get a hold of the body, which is a first, is from what I'm hearing. 19 till noon at 560 WQM. Let me tell you right now about our good friends over at Guaranteed Mortgage Bankers in Deerfield Beach. With over 275 different mortgage programs available to them, they will find a mortgage for you no matter what your situation is. Recently, they helped out a listener of ours who never thought he'd be able to qualify to buy his own home. Not only were they able to qualify him, they were able to present him 3 options as to the type of mortgage he could get, and they worked closely with him to determine which was best, and then they made it happen. That's Guaranteed Mortgage Bankers in Deerfield Beach at 1-800-734-6616. Whether you're looking for an interest-only loan, a 30-year fixed rate,
about 30, man,
or one of the many low-rate adjustable mortgages they have, Guaranteed Mortgage Bankers in Deerfield Beach has exactly what you'd be looking for. They offer you payments as low as $332 for every $100,000 you borrow. And not only will they take care of your mortgage situation, they'll also send you on a cruise. That is correct. After closing your loan with Guaranteed Mortgage Bankers in Deerfield Beach, you can choose one of 6 different 7-night cruises, compliments of Guaranteed Mortgage Bankers. So call them today. They'll take care of you. 1-800-734-6616. Whether you're looking to buy a new home, an investment property, or just refinance that current mortgage, these are the folks you want to call. You can check them on the Wicked Web first if you like it, GuaranteedMortgageBankers.com, where they'll treat you just like family. Or give them that call right now. Guaranteed Mortgage Bankers in Deerfield Beach. Toll free. It's 1-800-734-6616.
You're listening to Neil Rogers exclusively on 560 QAM.
Fiedler is dumb, and Dave Wannstedt is dumbfounded.
thing. And I'm going to tell you something right now, and you can mark it down. If Broward County would change their mind and decide they wanted to build this facility, I will not play here. Because I will not have you guys looking at me for the next 10 years saying, here's a guy that said one thing and went out and did something else.
You turd.
Oh, we're fine.
If God had a ball and took a hit, then would he act like Cheech and Chong? And get the munchies and make brownies filled with hash? And would he share it with Jesus and the saints, those pious potheads? And yeah, pot is great. And yeah, pot is good. And yeah. What is God's most cannibals?
Neil, God.
Smoking pot like one of us. Getting high on the back of the bus. Just him and Moses getting stoned. On a Greyhound bus to Rome. To get some Vatican homegrown. A couple dimebacks to take home. Smoked a big Bob Marley on his throne.
Rectum.
No fun in heaven unless you're stoned.
Oh, guess what? Bob Marley just made a comeback, just like Yes Sir, I'm a Fart. All the dead people are coming back. If it's good enough for I'm a Fart, it's good enough for them, right? Yeah. And George Washington said, I don't have wooden teeth. 354 votes on the poll. Would you vote for a state ban on gay marriages? That's what the Southern Baptists are hoping to Jones in for, as in Bob Jones and Reverend Jones. 283 no votes on our poll so far in this very broad-minded audience, about 80%. Yes, absolutely, 17.2% say, oh yeah, we can't have Adam and Steve. And 10 people say, I don't know, 2.8%. We'll change the poll at noon. Now, remember we had that caller, your little Julio friend, one of those little circle of jerks?
Which one?
The one who called before about who's going to replace John Ashcroft.
Oh, that.
Well, here's the answer. You want the answer?
No.
President Bush is moving swiftly toward naming a successor to Attorney General John Ashcroft, and White House counsel Alberto Gonzales has emerged as the leading candidate for the job.
Incredible.
Alberto Gonzales. Sí. A Republican source at the White House told NBC, I'd rather have Jose Jimenez myself, that the choice of Gonzales will be announced later today by Bush. Separately, 2 administration officials told the A&P that the long anymore.
Right.
So they got tourists up there. Even the polar bears are pissed off about this Bush thing. Global warming is heating the Atlantic at a rapid pace with impacts that could range. And don't forget the Bush crowd says, oh, there's no such thing as global warming. It's a liberal plot. There's no such thing. Global warming is just, we just made that up. Impacts that could range from the disappearance of polar bear summer habitat by the century's end to a damaging rise in sea levels worldwide.
Oh, my gosh.
That assessment released yesterday by a group of international climate experts amounts to one of the most urgent warnings on climate change to date and could put new pressure on the U.S. and other nations to curb fossil fuel emissions. Stop it already, you crazy bastards, you. This comes at a time of growing concern about the effects of global warming, which scientists generally agree is increasingly driven by rising carbon dioxide levels in the atmosphere from human industrial activity and changing land use patterns. Monday's report called for strong near-term action to reduce output of gases that, when they rise into the atmosphere, trap heat in what's called the greenhouse effect. And it goes on about the stark assessments. Rapid melting of Arctic glaciers, including the vast sheet of ice that covers Greenland. The sheet locks up enough fresh water to raise sea levels by as much as 27 feet over the course of several centuries. The group calculates that during this century, Greenland temperatures are likely to exceed the threshold for triggering the long-term meltdown of the island's ice sheet. Arctic temperatures rising up to twice as fast as the global average. Over the past 50 years, average winter temperatures in Alaska, western Canada, and eastern Russia have risen as much as 7 degrees Fahrenheit. Over the next century, temperatures are projected to rise up to 13 degrees Fahrenheit. Remember like last summer? Mm-hmm. Not this past, but the one a year ago? Mm-hmm. When they had those record-breaking heat temperatures all over Europe?
Right.
Not just a coincidence, okay? It wasn't just like, oh, well, it's getting hot.
Tommy Plot.
A dramatic reduction in the extent of the summer ice pack in the Arctic Ocean. Late summer ice coverage already has declined by as much as 20% over the past 3 decades. The summer ice pack is projected to shrink by another 10 to 50% by the end of the century. Some climate models show the summer ice vanishing by the year 2040, which is only 36 years away. How do you like that?
About 30, man.
Either change could accelerate warming by allowing the ocean to absorb solar heat. The change could threaten species such as polar bears and some seals with extinction. Well, at least then they won't be clubbed to death by those crazy people anyway, the seals.
There's always a bright side.
Researchers always worry that an influx of fresh water into the North Atlantic could disrupt large-scale ocean currents worldwide, altering weather patterns and the locations where nutrients rise from the depths to support regional fisheries, and, of course, the people in the low-lying areas, like in Holland, for example, and in Florida, I just mentioned this in passing, you're all going to drown. But nevertheless, we don't want to revert to science crowd because we know they're a bunch of commie pinko leftists, right? They're from the left coast, and they're full of crap. So
you're not considering the good news.
What is that?
All those waterfront homes the Kentuckians are going to have soon?
Oh, I forgot about that. That's right. And, of course, don't forget about Canada's great beaches.
Right.
567-0560, pound 560 on the Verizon and Singular wireless lines. I don't care what anybody says. I've been telling you this for a long time. America is 2 countries divided right down the middle. Not geographically, but philosophically. You got 2 countries. You got the people from the blue states, the living and breathing and thinking people, most of them, and in the red states who are like busy making Deliverance Part 2. Entry. WQAM, hello. QAM.
Yes, can I speak to Neil?
Speaking.
Neil, who in the guy's name is Alberto Gonzales?
He's a buddy of Bush from Texas.
Well,
he's one of Bush's lawyer buddies.
If we were just for him, this is for you.
All right.
What'd he say?
I don't know.
If we, what to him and this, what did we just say?
This bud's for you, I think.
Oh, this bud's for you. Okay, Pally. Bottoms up, sweetheart. You are really
rock solid.
And he called 4 minutes late, that guy. Shame on him. Don't ever do that. That's because I was rambling on about Arctic warming and all that other scientific mumbo-jumbo. You know, that has nothing to do with the Lord. It's the devil's work, all that science crap, all that carbon dating and stuff.
This is just a temporary proving ground anyway.
Right. That's correct, until all you Jews go to hell. Well, unless you accept Jesus, of course. WQAM, hello.
Neil going to Sirius Satellite Radio.
Yeah, right. WQAM, hello.
Neil, is Hank Goldberg, AQAM.
WQAM, hello.
Hi.
Oh, we're on a roll now, 3 in a row. Let's go for 4. QAM, hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Speak to me, sir. Come on, turn that radio down, man. It's interfering with my life.
Want to jump on this Wade Dave Wannstedt situation here. He's a faggot.
Okay, good. Oh, I didn't know that. WQAM, hello.
You knew them all.
Was that him? Was that the great one chiming in?
Yeah, that was the great one, yeah. The great one. I hope that you and he used the Vaseline done, okay? He told me he's getting kind of sore about your whole attitude. What?
I'm not saying nothing.
Boy, you talk about a cluster fork, those two, man. It's unbelievable. Talk about joint at the hip and the lip and the nip and the tip. 4 minutes till noon at 560 WQM. My God, where the hell is the time gone? It's already noon almost? I'll be gosh danged, as Buddy Bud Paxson would say about them gosh dang Italians who didn't build his boat right. Let's get Bud Paxson back. What do you say? Let's see if he'll pay me for a couple of years for not working. Let's give that a shot. Just like Mo. And speaking of Mo, he'll be on next Wednesday. You'll want to mark it down for the Mad Dog. I've got next week's schedule already, week ahead of time. You want to mark that down. Make sure you're like away from your radio next Wednesday from 2 to 4.
This is Mark Morgan. It's the 12 to 1 hour on QAM.
All right.
I'm dying over here.
Oh, we're fine.
We're about 10 years too late. Yeah, back when things were great. Clinton was president. OJ was innocent. But we could still see friends. And Beavis and Butthead barely had an internet. And there was no spam yet. Never heard about Bin Laden. Wall Street was always in the black. We still care about Madonna. And none about sneak attacks. And all that great music. Yeah, you could take your pick. Like it was sent from God. No cell phones, no ringtones, no iPods, played Oasis or Hootie. That Brandy was a cutie. There was Alanis Morissette and Julia split from Lila. If the Pumpkins were smashing, the Beatles tried to cash in, but nothing quite feels right since 1995. 1995.
12:03 at 560 WQAM. Happy Wednesday to it. Keep your chin up, baby. All collectively, keep all your chins up.
All right.
Here's the result of our first poll. Would you vote for a state ban on gay marriages? Which is what the Southern Baptists and the other right-wing Goyim want. 409 votes. Not too bad, actually, like in an hour. When we come on?
Today?
Today we came on? Boy, it seems like a week ago. 409 votes. Would you vote for a state ban on gay marriage? No, 326. Almost 80%. Just a hair. Just a curly little hair under 80%. Yes, absolutely 72. 17.6% who have got their priorities straightened out. And don't know, 11. Usual 2.6%. Here's the new poll, which we can get up there right away, Eric, and then you can go back to lunches. Now that the election is over, and of course this is the most pressing part, because I'm like kind of torn on this, although not really so much. Because like you were saying the other day, you don't want to like see the news. Oh, and speaking of news, in the last 48 hours, 24 more American dead soldiers. But they really don't want to make too much of a deal on this in the media because they're too busy brainwashing everybody about Operation Fallujah Bloodbath or whatever they're calling it this hour. Every couple hours they have some new cliche, you know. Operation Fallujah Freedom or some crap. 24 more dead Americans for absolutely no reason at all. And, of course, they have no idea how many Iraqis, because why should we count them anyway? Even though we're liberating them, they're barbarians anyway, so what do we care, right?
And they shouldn't have attacked us.
Yeah, that's right, and they shouldn't have attacked us on 9/11 anyway, those freaking Iraqis. Now that the election is over, what I want most from the Neil Rogers Show is, now we do a poll like this every once in a while when the Spirit of Christ compels me, and I thought that now is a good time, right? Right. Because we've been very, very heavy in this political stuff. A lot of good it did. And, ranting and raving and reading all the bedtime stories. And just, here's the choices I have on here. Now that the election is over, what I want most from the Neil Rogers Show is more politics, more bedtime stories, back to fun and games, more crazy callers, anything but politics. Now, am I leaving something off of here? They could always add on here, I guess.
Right.
Right. Let's see. What am I going to vote for? I don't know. Back to fun and games. Sound like all these great calls we're getting today. Like Reverend Jones 30 or 40 times and Prozac Ron. Hi. Prozac Ron, all our other good friends out there. And keep in mind, these people are a cut above the red states. What does that tell you about the red states? Entry. Drop them? Panties?
I'm fine.
Poor Ned Beatty, man. He's still sore about that rule. I would have thought myself they'd have gone off to John Voight, but up in the woods they don't see too good.
Do you remember a while back he took a tour of the site again? They had a story about
John Voight?
Ned Beatty.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, and they pointed out Rape Rock, as the locals call it now.
Rape Rock?
Rape Rock, and he was traumatized to see it again.
Was he really?
Yes, he was.
I wonder if that's right next to Date Rape Rock. WQAM, hello.
Hey, Neil, how's it
going,
man?
Near Little Rock. WQAM, hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Look for Neil.
Speaking.
Hey, Neil. I didn't get a chance to thank you for helping us win the election. All your hate and war minds.
Okay, great. WQAM, hello.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
How you doing, Neil? Hey, George. How's it going?
By the way, where this show is heard, carry one big where this show is heard for that last jackass. Go ahead, sir.
I just want to know, who do you think looks more like a woman, Belkis Schnurray or Brel Kamal?
Miss Kamal? Are you knocking Miss Kamal while she's got her problems? Is that what you're doing? You're knocking a lady when she's down? Cut the crap, pal. Get a life, okay? You see, they're obsessed with Miss Kamal. They didn't believe me all those times. It's no surprise to most of us and you people out there. You're so slow. You're so freaking slow. That's old news now, okay? She's in jail. She's having a good time, I guess.
And as Anne Murray would say,
yeah,
that ain't no way to treat a lady.
That's correct, okay? So leave her alone already. She's got bigger fish to fry. And younger ones, too. WQAM, hello.
Neil.
QAM, yes, sir.
Neil, Alberto Gonzales, by the way, is the Einstein who wrote the infamous memo to George Bush that said that the Geneva Convention didn't apply to the prisoners we were taking and that they could torture
That is correct. In fact, he thought that the Geneva Convention was held in Geneva, New York. That's what a rocket scientist he is.
I thought it was Ithaca, actually, or Utica.
No, I think it was in Canandaigua myself.
Thanks, Neil.
Okay. And they're having part 2 in Penang.
Want a lollipop, little boy?
Okay, now don't be starting with the Miss Kamal stuff again, would you please? Jesus, leave her alone. Weather Fairy Jr.
Jesus Christ.
It's a good thing that they got those hurricanes over just in time for him to... And he's probably under a lot of stress, you know?
Right.
He probably thought the kid was like maybe at least 14 and a half. WQAM, hello.
Boricua from Murphy.
WQAM, hello.
Hello, Dale.
Yes, sir.
Hey, you had a caller yesterday allude to
really?
allude to it briefly about
Yeah, some schlepper called from down here to Howard Stern, and he goes on the air and was telling Howard how for the first 20 minutes of every show, you just
it's just some agent provocateur goes on there trying to like stir up a bunch of crap is what that's all about.
Right, and Howard, like the old Larry King days, pretended like you didn't know who you were, and he referred to you as Tony Rogers, but it wasn't that big a deal. But the caller who called it, there's the thing that drives me nuts about Howard's fans and Howard himself. He thinks they and he think he's the only thing that should be on the radio.
Well, that's true.
I mean, it's a decent show. I've listened to him in the past. I prefer you. Obviously, it sucks waiting for you to come on. But I've listened to Howard, and I still will do it. But God, some of his moronic, psychotic callers, and it's just. Yeah,
but wait a minute. You're saying somebody? Have you been listening to us today?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, just keep in mind.
I know, but the other thing is, remember the days when you used to do remotes, and you see some of the people there, and like Gilbert was like the upper crust of these people.
And that's right. He was top notch.
Yeah, and that's pretty much the general, the general.
But keep in mind, no, those aren't the listeners. Those are the callers, the groupies, okay? Because groupies are always misfits.
Amen. Thanks, Neil.
Good luck to us, pal. Okay. Yeah, let's have a little Miss Kamal session here. What do you think, huh?
You thought that I was dumb and stupid?
Yes. In fact, maybe we ought to change the poll question. Maybe the poll question ought to be, since they're so obsessed with Miss Kamal.
How young is too young?
Yeah. 3 or 4? 5? Come on. Give it a shot. Okay, let's see what we got so far. Well, we just got a smattering of votes. I'm not going to read it until we get something substantial on there. We got the new poll up there. Back to fun and games. That's what we're doing today, baby. No more of this serious, we're going to change the world crap. Keep it light, Neil. Keep it light.
Lots of fart sounds.
Right, a lot of fart sounds. Silent ones, of course. Silent ones, of course. Oh, and speaking of that, I was going to mention this before.
What?
Because I keep telling you about how much I enjoy going out to Woodbine and plunging my guts out of the slots. Because it aggravates you.
Oh, it does?
Yeah, I don't know. It seems to. At any rate, I noticed something the other day. I went to, you put your cup on the chair and you ask the person next to you to watch your machine when you got a bunch of credits in there and you're coming back to lose your ass.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to take a leak and I came back. Of course, you have to go take a leak a lot because they keep feeding you all them free diet sodas, which aren't really free because they're, I have to take them $1 every time they come by. At any rate, I come back, and it was very crowded. It was on Sunday afternoon. And as I'm weaving my way through this crowd of crazy people, which they always watch the people playing the $5 machines because it's like a spectator thing. They're not playing, they're not gambling, but it's like they're watching, which I can't imagine anything more boring than watching other people play a slot machine. But it's like watching other people play golf.
Or any other sport.
But I walked through there, and I've mentioned this before, but I have never noticed so many people smelling so bad. Now, don't get me wrong, I love a lot of the people here, and they're, like any place else, good people, crappy people. But smelly people. And every time I play that, nobody speaks English, and that thing about speak English smelly. I mean, I can understand. You can go anywhere and just have the misfortune somebody just cut some bad cheese, and it's going to just, that rancid aroma may linger for a long time, make you just nauseous. But I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about bad-smelling people,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to, start generalizing and tell you where these people may or may not be from,
Go right ahead.
No, seriously.
What are they going to do, attack us?
Even the old Italians here. I don't know. I go to Italy and they all smell fine to me, but no, actually they don't.
No, they don't.
No, now that I think about it, they don't.
All that hair.
No, they do not. Even the ones without the hair. They just, I don't know, something about when you wear the same clothes for like 2-3 weeks at a time, and you don't use the soap because you're afraid you're going to drop it. I'm thinking now that body wash would be really great in some of them Western European countries. The old
That's
smelly Europe.
Because you can't pick that up if you drop it.
That's correct. Oh, my God. I mean, just even think about getting near a bar of soap, okay? Just soap on a rope would be good. That Pope soap on a rope is great. But, man, you talk about, oh, God, and there's all these different, and none of them are good, you know what I mean?
Well,
like you go to Vegas, and I don't remember anybody, smelling bad or, smelling good, bad, or indifferent. They're just people, But you go to the casino here and oh, geez, there's somebody from India right there. It's Kid Curry's brother-in-law, or somebody Curry. Mike in Melbourne faxes says, for the guy who's asking who Alberto Gonzales is, among other things, he's the guy who was unduly influencing the Republican 9/11 commissioners and telling them what questions to ask the hostile witnesses. He is unacceptable, is what this fax says. Unacceptable. But I'm sure the Democrats in the Senate will roll over and play dead, which is what they do the best. Very apropos, Mike in Melbourne. Right on target. You got your thumb on it. Very appropriate. Because that's what they're doing with everything. They just roll over and play dead. So you got the wild right-wing evangelicals, and then you got a party that's dead as a doornail, and that don't make for too good of a balance, 12:13 at 560 WQAM. IRS tax problems have a way of destroying your life, man. They take a toll on you financially, Physically and emotionally, of course. You can never really forget about those IRS problems as they come back every morning when you wake up in a cold sweat. CPA Jamie Buchwald and the Buchwald Tax Firm can help end your IRS problems forever and give you back some peace of mind. That's why other top CPA and law firms refer their clients to the Buchwald Tax Firm when they have problems with the old IRS. Why not avoid potential criminal prosecution? Get all your unfiled tax returns prepared even if you lost all your records. Suppose you have an IRS lien, wage levy, owe payroll taxes and penalties. Maybe you'd like to settle for thousands less than you owe, need time to pay, whatever the deal. The Buchwald Tax Firm can help. They offer free initial consultation, affordable and guaranteed fees, and immediate relief from IRS harassment. And best of all, you never even have to meet with the IRS. The Buchwald Tax Firm handles all meetings and discussions so you don't even have to be there. Call them today, 954-575-2800. That's 954-575-2800. Whether you owe $10,000 or $1 million in IRS taxes, the Buchwald Tax Firm can help you out. Call them today for your free no-obligation consultation or visit them on the web at irsfreedom.com and stop sweating and worrying and going into a panic about the IRS knocking at your front door. Call them today and get the monkey off your back, that 3-foot helper monkey. Call 954-575-2800.
You're listening to Neil Rogers exclusively on 560 QAM.
Bitter old fairy getting chubby and hairy, and I think all of his brain cells are gone. He's just a bitter old fairy getting angry and scary. What the hell has happened to Elton John? I guess I saw the last call back in Taipei when he screamed at photographers who got in his way. He had a hiss, he didn't call them pigs, while he swung around the suitcase that was full of his wigs. It was bizarre, his glasses fell from his head. Sir Elton started screaming and his face got all red. Well, look at him now, look at him now. He's just a bitter old fairy getting chubby and hairy, and I think all of his brain cells are gone. He's just a bitter old fairy getting angry and scary. What the hell has happened to Elton John? And now you never again, so he's mad at next. He's attacking Madonna like a bitter ex. She was nominated for an award, and when Sir Elton heard about it, well, at the end he lost his guard, because he says all she does is lip sync through her shows, and this aggravates him from his head to his toes, cause he's such a mess. Lost it, I guess. Maybe it's too much stress. He's just a bitter old fairy getting chubby and hairy. Maybe he needs a day at the salon. He's just a bitter old fairy getting angry and scary. What the hell has happened to Elton John? I said, hey, 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 Elton John has lost his brain to play. I said, hey, 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 Elton, you should mellow. I said, hey, 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 remember when you were a happy gay? I said, hey, 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 you used to be a jolly fellow, but now you're just a bitter old fairy getting chubby and hairy, and I think all of your brain cells are gone. You're just a bitter old fairy getting angry and scary. What the hell has happened to Elton John?
20 afternoon at 560 WQAM. Bad news from New Hampshire.
Yeah.
New Hampshire authorities said today they cannot prosecute Bishop Thomas Dupre on sexual abuse charges dating back to the 70s because it wasn't a crime at the time to have sex with teenagers who were at least 16. So Pops gets off the hook. You hear that, Miss Kamal? At least 16, that's okay, or at least it was back then in New Hampshire. I'm just grabbing something here. Oh, not that. The conduct the victims say happened in New Hampshire would not have been a crime in New Hampshire. Will Delker, New Hampshire Senior Assistant Attorney General, told the ANP. Federal authorities as well as law enforcement in New Hampshire, New York, and Canada have been reviewing the allegations against the former leader of the Springfield Diocese after a grand jury indicted him on child rape charges. They were raped. And you want to know what they say on this station about gang rape.
That's funny.
Although Dupre was the first American bishop to face such charges, Hampton County District Attorney William Bennett declined to prosecute the case, saying the statute of limitations expired. Speaking of Bill Bennett, I don't want to change the subject, but I will. Bill Bennett, there's another one we keep forgetting in the long list of hypocrites, right-wing hypocrites, family values hypocrites, who turns out to be a compulsive gambler who's lost millions and millions and millions and plunging his guts out, and he just like Rush with his pills and Bill Riley with his phone sex, huh? And Miss Fudge there with his maricon business. Iraqi troops have found hostage slaughterhouses in Fallujah, where foreign captives were held and killed. The commander of Iraqi forces in the city said today troops found CDs and documents of people taken captive in houses in the northern part of Fallujah. Major General Abdul Qadir Mohammed Jassim Mohan. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 names, told reporters. I thought it was just you Julios with the 3 names that got me upset, but this guy's got 5 freaking names. The most notorious abductions in Iraq have been by the Al-Qaeda-linked group led by Jordanian military. Well, we know that, Zarqawi. And, of course, it's always a good idea to make your big attack when you give them, like, advance notice, like, hey, right after the American elections are safely stolen, over, then we're going to come into Fallujah, baby, and we're going to, we're on our way. Get ready. Here we come.
Right. Get all those stolen explosives and wire them.
Right. And now we're finding, they're all gone. Zarqawi and all of those, they're all gone. Huh. Oh, jeez. How could that be? We need some more choices on this poll, by the way. You ready, Josh?
I'm ready.
I realize you're under a lot of stress there.
How about more nudity on the show?
No more bedtime stories. And also fewer bedtime stories. All that reading, reading and reading and reading. Like the day Miguel was on, and I read for almost the whole show. Just basically because the calls suck, number one, and number two, he can't stand it. And I really don't care what he likes, at this point. Who cares? In fact, if he starts in with me again, I'll tell a real story about what he was doing with Doreen. Now that the election is over, what I want most from the Neil Rogers Show is, here's the first tally on the second poll of the day, 105 votes on here so far. Back to fun and games, 36. Yeah, let's go back to fun and games, whatever that was. Now, Joyce won't like most of what you used to do when it was fun and games, because we can't tell you that stuff, and we certainly can't say, oh, not that, or the word that begins with a P and the one that begins with a V. Well... back to fun and games, 36. More politics, 23. Anything but politics, 17. More bedtime stories, 17. More crazy callers, 12. See, I learned nothing from this. You know what I mean? I learned nothing from that so far. Do you?
No.
Well, what else am I leaving off of here? More callers.
Okay.
Well, we got the more crazy call. I think that's yeah, that was about it. Oh, look at that pigeon just dropped onto my balcony out there. Look at that. How's it going, eh? WQAM, hello.
Hi, Neil. Sorry from the
Reverend Jones.
See, you don't always have to tell me, okay? I'm not quite as slow as you think. 567-0560, pound 560 on the variety. We haven't had one woman on the phone here today. We have no women on the website. What is with the bitches in South Florida, man? What is with you people, anyway? Man, oh man, and not that, see, I always do this, but it just drives me crazy. It drives me up the wall. How is it possible that we have so many humorless bitches that are busy watching Jerry Springer and Montel and freaking Jenny Jones and Maury Pupik and all that other crap? Huh? What is with them? Is that all they want to see is a bunch of trailer trash?
Yes.
Oh. Well, maybe that's what we need. Maybe we need some trailer trash.
I know where to find them.
Yeah, I sure do, too.
Hello?
WQM, yes, sir.
Neil.
Yes.
How are you?
Okay.
You've been doing that for a while now.
Didn't I just get you saying that?
Oh, you did? I'm sorry, I missed it. I'm sorry, I just turned it on now.
You got to keep up with us, Pally.
Okay, man, thanks.
Fewer bedtime stories. Okay, see, and he goes away, he goes running away because he takes it personal. Didn't I just get you saying that? Mm-hmm. He doesn't like all that reading. It's ponderous, and I agree with him, and especially when I get one of them long stories, and I try to read it like that, and I fumble and bumble, and you lose the meaning of it. Even I don't know what the hell I'm talking about.
What are you talking about?
I don't know, but it kills some good time, though. WQAM, hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
I got to drive around with Passport now. Not only is the signal just as bad as it always has been, but you've got the constant Spanish background music that has not been taken care of since the hurricane.
Well, when you say not been taken care of, what are we going to do about it?
Well, it was. I thought I was under the impression that it was something that happened, and they were going to resolve it. I mean, this is the signal that they're broadcasting.
What time is your show?
Yeah, that's what I'm listening to.
What a sense of humor you got. Yeah, well, good luck to you, Pally. Yeah, as a matter of fact, it reminds me of another lie that Greg Reed told me when he tried to hire me. We can go 50,000 watts, and we got land, but we got, right. Watts my ass. Remember that show with John Charles Daly, Watts my ass? It was great. I bet you Boca Brian remembers it.
I think it's Cantaloupe.
Yeah. Wow, 50,000 watts. How do you like the show so far?
Listening to Neil Rogers exclusively.
Get serious, man.
Albert Qaeda from Taliban Records inviting you American infidel to buy latest Cat Stevens collection.
You know Muhammad is right. Take your head off your body. Got a machete with a real sharp blade. How I wish I had an American hostage. Make those infidels pay.
Also including this classic.
I was on the airplane and suddenly was detained. They're mad 'cause I converted and wear a towel on my head. I'm being followed by an F-16. What do they want with me?
The money from your purchase does not go to fund terrorism, really.
It's not time to get off the plane. Just relax and take it easy. You're just dumb, that's your fault. It wouldn't happen if I were a Jew. Fine dark skin and a rag if you want a detainee.
Another variation on a classic.
I ask myself every day which American should pay. Tell me, who would Muhammad slay? I'm cutting through the neck of a woman. Don't cut. She lifted her veil and exposed herself.
So buy new Cat Stevens collection today for $19.95. Or you can pay with Visa, MasterCard, or weapons of mass destruction.
1232 at 560 WQM. That'd be a good poll for tomorrow. Who smells worse, Arabs or Orthodox Jews? Maybe that's why they're wailing at that wall over there, you know? Let's see. Here's one that says, why is there no beaded curtain for women? Because we don't have any women listening. That's why, Cindy. I'd like to see some hunky mail on your website each day. Well, we had Tom Brady on there, au naturel, for a few days. Now, he was kind of like bent over.
Rectum?
Yeah. And we had to take it off of there because our middle-level management people were getting, like, greatly aroused by it. Yeah. No, seriously, why would we waste our time doing that?
And who would be wasting their time doing that?
No, seriously. I mean, I could find them and pick them out, but what would be the point?
None.
For how many women and fags have we got listening to this show?
About 30, man.
We have to do that. I mean, you know, if the women indicated, like, would write us down in their diaries instead of us leaving us out to hang, Cindy,
right.
Maybe then we might feel we have, or like when we take any kind of a poll, there's no women on there.
Mm-mm.
So what's the point? Don't take it personal, Cindy, unless you want to, but the women have abandoned me in this show. Back in IOD, we used to have about a 2 share in women, which is not great, but, you know, it was consistently about the same. On this station, instead of a 2 share, we just got 2 women. Right. No, that's it. Andy in Las Vegas faxes and says, oh, yeah, we got the story, this other fax. Did we get the story from Cobb County, Georgia? I always love when they fax in. Did you get that story? We talked about it yesterday, or Monday, whatever day it was. About evolution and the disclaimer and the things in the textbooks. We talked about it at length. And I understand you can't listen every day all day, and most of you have no idea what time the show starts anyway. Let me say it again. 11 o'clock, that's a good time to tune in. Because on days like today, when Howard bailed out at 10:21, no problem for 40 minutes here. We just do filler. We're tefillin, you know? It's the Orthodox hour. Right. In fact, I think we ought to just play in honor of the Beasleys and of the Red States. We ought to play like Deliverance. Maybe I'll go out and buy the soundtrack today. You got it there?
No.
Huh?
We have this.
Dueling banjos?
This is the bit.
Yeah, I know. We've got several of those. Andrew.
And Raver don't go on hanging tree.
Well, it's got to go somewhere, don't it? Andy in Las Vegas said that's a great movie. It really is. It really is a great movie. Probably the best acting performance ever by Burt Reynolds, other than Boogie Nights.
You are correct.
In fact, huh?
You are correct.
I'm not really sure which was better. I guess, Boogie Nights, he was very good. But this was very good. This movie was great. Burt Reynolds, Ronnie Cox, John Voight, and Ned Beatty. Squeal like a pig. Ned Beatty's great.
Yes,
I think underrated actors, I know we've done that poll before, but he has got to be one of the most underrated. Because when you talk about great actors, who the hell would ever say Ned Beatty?
Right. His mom.
Right? Like in Network, that role he played as Mr. Jensen, man, it was just phenomenal. And the scene where they're sitting in there, they actually filmed it in the boardroom of IT&T, one of the largest corporations in the world, and they got all the little chairs with the little green lights, and he's sitting at the end of that long table, and there's Howard Beale sitting at the other end with that pale look on his face. And then he goes through that whole, and you will, whatever the hell he's talking. I'm not getting through to you, Mr. Beale. He changes the whole tone of it. It's great. You had to be there to see it. Anyway, you will repent. Why me? Because you're on television, dummy. You know, all the time, I never realized, I guess I should, that we have this in here.
I've chosen you to preach this, Mr. Beale. Why me? Because you're on television, dummy.
I never knew we had those other...
Yeah, a long time ago.
I'll be damned. You sneak those in there when I wasn't even peeking. I'll be damned. Andy in Vegas says, years back I used to listen to your show when I lived in Tampa. Been living out here in Vegas since, listening to your show daily on the Internet. Nice going, Andy. My co-workers in my orifice love your show to death. I keep the rants and raves coming, my friend. It says, I see. Keep the rants and raves. That's another one we ought to put on the poll. It's a self-serving butt-licking choice on the poll.
What's that? Ranting and raving?
Change nothing. Or how do we say that?
Everything's great.
Everything is, fine.
Oh, we're fine.
It's fine the way it is. Just the way, something like that. However you want to put it on there, Josh, I'll leave it up to you. Can you handle it?
Yeah, it's fine the way it is. It's up there.
It's up there already?
That's right.
How the hell did you do that?
Special powers, man.
Well, let me refresh here, okay? Let me spritz a little with my fa under my left arm and my fat under the right arm. For the Arabs, it's fat. Let's see. I'll find a way it is. Nobody said that yet because you just put it on there. Anyway, it says Wegmans is the best. Yeah, Wegmans is great. We don't have no Wegmans in Toronto, but we do have Loblaws and Dominion. Dominion's just Andy in Vegas. There's nothing like having a great supermarket, you know? Don't you think?
Yeah.
That's an important part of life, having a fine supermarket. Now, they always, in Amsterdam, they got Albert Heijn.
So I hear.
Albert Heijn is the name of the big department store chain in Amsterdam. You better check it out next time you go there, okay? When they stop blowing up all them Muslim places. Oh, and speaking of that, Firefox ignites demand for alternative browser. I mentioned this earlier, and it's something that a lot of you people ought to check out unless you want to be a prisoner of Bill Gates and Microsoft and the Internet Explorer forever. Now, George didn't have any idea what Firefox was, and I said, when in doubt, check it out.
I thought you were talking about that bad movie that Clint Eastwood did.
No. And he checked it out and said,
I like it, and I'm using it right now.
How do you like that? I told you. How many times faster than in the Explorer would you say it is?
About 30, man.
Yeah, it's like instantaneous. Before you even finish clicking whatever you want to click on there, boom, there it is. Boom.
Haven't had a single pop-up yet.
And you won't see any pop-up ads, no spam, no ham, no baloney, unlike that press conference yesterday, and no viruses either. No nothing. And it's free. So just do a search for either Firefox or Mozilla, M-O-Z-I-L-L-A, Mozilla Firefox, and just install it. It takes like about a minute. And you can compare, okay, all you people that are still in the dark ages with Internet Explorer, and those who are using Netscape. Oh, my God. Get with it, okay? Guess what? President Lincoln's got a bad headache. Wouldn't you say that Netscape is like in the Stone Age?
Anymore. It used to be the thing.
Now, yeah, it used to be the thing. So did, the old printing press. The old-fashioned printing press used to be the thing, too, And papyrus. Yeah. Remember Papyrus? Isn't that what Johnny Depp was in that awful movie? I hear that movie wasn't really that bad. I never watched it.
Papyrus of the Caribbean?
Uh-huh.
His performance was good. The movie was weak.
Yeah. See, I don't understand that. I have seen movies like that where somebody gave a great acting performance. Pompano Park Racing and Poker has all the gambling action you can ever want. Located just a half mile from both I-95 and the Turnpike, Pompano Park is easy to get to, and best of all, Pompano Park offers you free admission and free general parking each and every day. Live harness racing in the poker room is open tonight, every Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. Poker starts at noon. It's open right now, goes on till midnight. And live racing gets underway nightly at 7:25. Every Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday, the poker room features tournament action with special Texas Hold'em and 7-card stud tournaments starting at noon for all you studs. Tonight, Pompano Park is thanking everybody who helped support the passage of Amendment 4 with a special cake-cutting ceremony after the fourth race, and all day and night today, race programs, draft beer, hot dog, sodas, box seats, and more, just 50 cents apiece. You can find that on the floor. Pompano Park also open every day, 7 days and nights a week for simulcasting with the best in harness, thoroughbred, and highlight action from all across North America for you to watch and wager on. And by the way, Ian Fromowitz, my close friend over there at Woodbine, $30 horse with Randy Waples last night. Didn't give me that one, did you, sweetheart? Oh, my God, I watched that on the Racing Network. I wanted to cry. This Saturday, November 13, is $10 for $20 night when fans can pay $10 in cash and get $20 in Pompano Park money to spend all night on food and drinks. Pompano Park Harness, just a block south of Atlantic Boulevard on Powerline Road. For the current race schedule, call 954-972-2000 or go online at pompanopark.com. Pompano Park, plunge your guts out. 7:25 post time tonight.
You're listening to Neil Rogers exclusively on 560 QAM.
You know that the Lord even loves Neil Rogers.
It's new and it's at Burger King. Godfather Trilogy action figures. They're fun for the whole family. Collect all 10 Mob action figures with each Whopper, fries, and super large drink. And that's a super large drink, no exceptions. Get Sonny in his favorite garbage can so you can beat the crap out of Carlo after he punches out Sonny's sister. Or get the bullet-riddled body of Sonny after he gets it at the Jersey toll booth. Wow, isn't that great? Impress all your friends with the Don himself.
I'll make him an offer he can't refuse.
So start organizing your neighborhood now and get the Godfather action figures. Remember, it's only business, and it's at Burger King.
And you're taking this very personal. 1246 at 560 WQAM. Mad Dog at 2, the Humper at 4, who's going to slice up some bologna for you and serve it on rye. That was a great line, Humper. They were slicing up the bologna and serving it as fast as they could at that press conference yesterday. That sums up in a nutshell, baby. It was crap, man. Non-stop BS. Well, I decided to step aside. Yeah, step aside my ass, okay? Mr. H. told you, you're out. You're out, sweetheart. Here's a fax from Mike who says, can you go back to ripping Mo? I mean, what's the point? He's not on anymore, right? What's the point?
That's for Wednesday.
He's old news. Well, he'll be on next Wednesday for like 2 hours. I mean, is it worth really our wasting valuable airtime to... Oh. At least some of the bits, what does it say? At least some of the Mo bits a little more often. Well, the problem with that is that most of the Mo bits that we had, the good ones, we can't play anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
Can't rape him anymore, as funny as it is.
Can't do anything anymore. How about the one, the parody of the Simon and Garfunkel song? Can't remember the name. What's that? Mo with the mother and child. Yeah, the Ginger and Mo reunion. Fat chance for that, man. All that talks about is raping this one and raping that one. Are you crazy, man? Mike?
Love.
You just... Mike is in Naples. Well, I understand now. Sorry, Mike. He's repressed. And, of course, being over there in Naples, maybe if you want to hear all those great bits again, go over there and knock on the door at Beasley Broadcasting and tell Joyce you want to hear the good stuff, okay, and quit being such an uptight bitch. Rich in Tamarack says, Rich, which rhymes with bitch, you learned on WINZ that talk radio doesn't change the world. Help us deal with its austerities and make us laugh. It says fun and games, ass to ass. That's all Rich wants. He wants ass to ass. Okay, fine with me. Matter of fact, speaking of...
Sure.
Speaking of ass to ass, we can just play in honor of Jennifer Connelly and Jared Leto. Just play this all day at 2 o'clock. What do you say? Or maybe we'll just play this from when Howie ends to 11 every morning. Huh?
We got the whole soundtrack here.
Oh, I know that. I got it here, too, as a matter of fact. Got it in my hand right now. And that's a little bit down. Maybe something more upbeat, like that.
A little more beat up.
Oh! Now, who was it who said they didn't like that movie? Was it Miguel?
No, it wasn't
Miguel.
Miguel.
He didn't get it.
It wasn't Miguel.
Who was it?
I don't know.
Yeah, it was.
It wasn't Miguel.
You're wrong. Wasn't me. Bull, you're full of crap. The audience will guarantee. I remember this like
they'll say whatever you want them to say.
No, that's not true. He said he saw it. He didn't get it.
Here's the thing about Miguel. It doesn't matter how much you rip him. He will admit it, whatever it is.
But listen, I remember I saw that Gaslight thing. Okay,
all right.
With Charles Boyer and Ingrid Bergman. I'm telling you right now, it was Miguel said he saw Requiem for a Dream. He didn't like it. He didn't get it.
Hey, Miguel, why didn't you like that movie?
Okay. See, he's too embarrassed to admit it now. You say he'll admit to anything, but in this case he won't.
He has never failed to admit to anything, no matter how embarrassing or how much.
Well, then who the hell was it that said they saw it and they didn't like it? Oh, maybe it was your buddy Beaner Boy.
Could have been.
He was still around back in the day, huh? That could have been it.
It'll come to me. I don't think it was him either, as much as I'd like to.
Well, who the hell was it then? Somebody in that place said they saw it, they didn't understand.
Oh,
maybe
it was Strange Scott.
Strange Scott's going to watch Requiem for a Dream.
Why not?
He doesn't need to see it. He's living it. Okay? Especially all them pills they were popping, okay?
Absolutely.
Anyway, let's take a few calls, okay? Because the audience, they want to lighten it up a little bit. They don't want to get heavy duty because it's a depressing movie anyway. It's a great movie. Requiem for a Dream, you need to see it desperately, okay? It's one of the all-time greats. I don't care what anybody says, including Miguel. He didn't like it. WQAM, hello. WQAM, hello. Okay, not there. WQAM, hello.
Neil, how are you?
Okay.
Good. I just wanted just to tell you about a couple of things real quick. About congratulations, first of all, in Florida getting their slot machines, but I think they're going to have to wait probably in Pennsylvania right now. That they're still waiting for the senators and for everybody to go ahead and put in the slot machines because they're all waiting to get their little cut of them. So I think the same problem up there in Pennsylvania is probably going to be happening down here.
No, because they already got their cut. The state's already got its cut. It's in writing, so that's not going to happen in Florida. In fact, in January, they're going to pass the enabling legislation, and in March, they're going to have the referendum in Dayton Broward, and by October, we're going to have some slot machines up and running.
So you don't think any of the senators at all in the state of Florida want any kind of piece of this? Because
you don't understand. It's already in writing where the money is going. There's nothing to debate. That's why the people who are the proponents did it the smart way. They put it all in writing first, and they signed an agreement where all the money is going to go to education. It's all spelled out.
Okay, well, I hope so.
Okay, see you at Pompano. See you at Gulfstream. See you at Calder. See you at High Life. See you at the dog track. Oh, I shouldn't have said that. Get them doggy people again all whipped up. Oh, Neil, we thought you loved dogs. 567-0560, pound 560 on the Verizon and Singular wireless lines. WQAM, hello. QAM.
Funky Pilot,
WQAM, hello.
Hey, Neil, how you doing? Got a great idea for a quickie poll for you for tomorrow. Actually, I can't take credit for it. You came up with it. You should poll the audience and see if they're from blue states or red states.
I don't think we should ask if they're from there. How about, well, yeah, it's probably
right.
If
they were born, or originally from a blue
state. I tell you what, we'll do a two-part poll on the blue. What we'll do is, do you have a blue state mentality or a red state mentality? And then we'll do one where we find out where they're from.
There you go.
Excellent. Thanks, Pally.
Happy birthday.
And thanks. How do you like that? That's good. Red states, blue states.
Okay.
Huh?
Although, you know how they're going to answer that first poll idea.
That's okay. We'll just do that one for an hour, okay, like we did today. Sometimes a couple of different polls isn't so bad, okay? I can handle more than one poll in a day.
Yeah, I don't want to think about it.
Yeah, well, I do. 567-0560. Speaking of that, don't forget to join. Oh, you're so full of crap, man. You are so full of it. If anybody could even begin to imagine the kind of disgusting, grotesque things that you've done in your life, the kind of stuff that I can't even begin to imagine. Oh, right. God.
Good thing they've all been with women, though.
Well, what difference does that make?
A lot.
Well, you call them women.
All the difference.
Yeah. You call them women. In fact, I would be surprised if some of them had a...
I would have been.
But nevertheless. Well, let's see. Travis says, I'm so amazed you're promoting Firefox. Well, what does that mean? It says, I've long been a fan of the show, but I think you put me over the top. If you want to continue your cause, I'd suggest registering neilrogers.com for Spread Firefox. www.spreadfirefox.com. You can put the link on your site, keep a tally how many people you've converted to Firefox. The site will be listed in the ranks, can be used as a promotional tool for neilrogers.com, and that's the show. Well, let's do it. Eric?
I'll forward the fax to Eric.
Forward the fax to Eric, and he can work on it, and this is a project, too. It says, although I suggest fixing the internet stream first, why are you using WMP? You're archiving your shows in MP3. Why not use Shoutcast? See, Travis, you've left me in the dust, man. You're way beyond me. It says this way people can relieve the stream and take a lot of the load off your server. Well, there's nothing better than having a lot of your load taken off your server, right? Especially like at a fancy gathering, you know? Oh, can I handle that tray for you? Oh, okay, no problem. Take a little load, huh? Take a load off my fanny. Call me. I'm going to tell you, you got the number here. Well, maybe send this along to Eric, and he can call this guy in Boca. It's a 561 number, and he can work on it. Huh?
I'll let Eric and this guy hash it out.
Yeah, let them when it down, hash it out. Maybe send them a little hash
goes, that's not anything that we have any control over.
Well, who knows? I already know, not now, but once we get off this station. I mean, once, Hey, listen, you have no idea. I mean, just this... I keep thinking to myself, and I made some comments yesterday, and I'm probably going to be making more comments because I'm just so aggravated with the way that certain people in that place, I don't want to mention Greg Reed and his underlings there, but you recall, it was just a couple months ago. Everything was fine.
Oh, we're fine.
I was in such a good mood and so happy with the way things were going that I was saying, hey, listen, I'll be more than happy to extend another 2 years. I don't need to retire in a couple of years. I mean, this is a piece of cake. And everything was looking hunky-dory, and everybody was all copacetic, and everybody was happy, and then all of a sudden, did Norma say this? And all of a sudden, all these nervous breakdowns started happening, and now it's like you're on death row, and you're like marking off the days on the wall, with Crayola, of how many more days you've got to be in a prisoner. And, in fact, I think there was something symbolic in you sending me that series, The Prisoner with Patrick McGowan. I think it meant something, because that's what I feel like. Number 69.
Who's number one? 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69. 69.
I'll tell you, I feel like taking a number 1 and a number 2 every time I think about it. Number 1, my ass. Yeah, number 1, my ass. Okay, how does that poll come in the ass? Now that the election's over, what I want most from the Neil Rogers Show is, what do we got? 287 votes already in this hour. Back to Fun and Games, 97. More politics, 52. A 53, it just changed, like right in the middle of my sentence, in midstream. Anything but politics, 38. It's fine the way it is, 33. More bedtime stories, 33. More crazy callers, 31. Hi! Fewer callers, 4. Yeah, it's the Neil and Ron Show. Come on, Ron, what do you say? Fewer bedtime stories, 3. No more bedtime stories, 2. And no caller, solamente uno.
You're listening to Neil Rogers exclusively on 560 QAM.
CBS.
This is General Richard Myers.
Oh, hi, General. How can I help you today?
Well, now, look, we got some pictures coming out. The Department of Defense would like CBS not to show those on national television.
Well, Mr. Hewitt had his heart set on showing that piece this week.
I understand that, but I'm asking you nicely the first time.
Well, I'm afraid we can't help you, sir.
Well, just one other thing, if you don't mind.
What's that, sir?
I'd like to hear the Neil Rogers 1 to 2 hour.
Are you ready for some football? Then tune in to ESPN Gay.
And he hits the hole right after Jesse opens it up.
Oh, yeah. ESPN Gay. Like to pack that guy around first. Cowboys, Bears, Vikings, Packers. You'll get them all on ESPN Gay.
He's going to fire into his guy right here.
Feel the sweat.
You push, you push, you push.
Smell the passion.
Just rode him backwards. Just put him right on his back.
This ain't some makeover show on Bravo. It's the NFL on ESPN Gay.
And then everyone's kind of slopping around down there and grunting and groaning and, you get mud and stuff flying and gang tackles and scrums and quagmires.
ESPN Gay, where there's never a wardrobe malfunction.
I don't know where that one came from.
Sundays will never be the same.
That looked like it was the last shot out of the Roman candle.
Call your cable operator now and demand ESPN Gay.
Look at that big old lump. Oh, what a meal those guys are having.
Look good. ESPN Gay. Now that's a mouthful.
Yeah. Phillips Records, by the way, Sunday will never be the same. Spanking our gang.
What about
Let's see, the Sun Sentinel poll, would you vote for an amendment that banned gay marriage in the state of Florida? And it's changed dramatically now, I would say. 3,809 total responses. Maybe because I alerted the public out there, our audience, to the fact that this poll was there, okay? And a lot of our people in our audience like a good poll. No, yes, 46.3% would vote in favor of banning gay marriage in the state of Florida. 51.5% say that they would not vote for that. And 2.2% say not sure. They're like bi-curious. They want to buy it, and then they'll try it. Speaking of that, if you're curious, join George Miguel and Boca Bride today, 5 to 7, and George will tell you stories about grotesque things he's done, some of the sluts that he's hopped on over the years. 5 to 7 this afternoon, Happy Hour, Treasure Island, located off the Palmetto, just north of the 100, especially in Montana, I would imagine, just north of the 122nd Street exit. Stop by to check out this week's feature. Stephanie Evans, she's a straight shooter. She's the female Peter North to win prizes. Ain't she?
Well, it's kind of an arc.
Kind of, sort of. Oh, an arc. I wonder if Noah's got something to do with it. Anyway, Doug Thompson in your very favorite website, Capitol Hill Blue. I like Doug Thompson, man. He's my kind of guy. No BS with this guy. He says Ashcroft's reign of terror comes to an end. And it's official now, by the way. Jose Jimenez is the new Attorney General. From the time he took the oath of office as Attorney General of the USA, John Ashcroft declared war on the Constitution and freedom as we know it in the U.S. President George W. Bush capitulated to the rabid right wing of the Republican Party by appointing Ashcroft, a Bible-thumping zealot from Missouri who holds a narrow, ultra-conservative moralistic view of the world. Ashcroft showed his true colors from day one, ordering drapes for nude statues in the Justice Building in Washington. His prudishness came as no surprise for longtime Ashcroft watchers. As Missouri Attorney General, Ashcroft often put his own extremist beliefs over the law, threatening to prosecute businesses who open on Sunday, even after a statewide voter referendum overturned the state's archaic blue laws that forced retail establishments to close on the seventh day. God, I thought those laws went out with knickers. God's will supersedes the law of man, Ashcroft declared at the time. The Supreme Court of Missouri disagreed, forced him to cease and desist. It would be the first of many clashes between Ashcroft and the courts always won. As both Attorney General and Governor of Missouri, Ashcroft compiled a horrendous record on civil rights, opposing outright desegregation of schools in St. Louis, and laws granted equal rights to women and minorities. Finally, Missouri voters had enough, throwing then-Senator Ashcroft out of office and electing in his place a dead man, Missouri Governor Mel Carnahan, who had died in a plane crash before the election. After his own disputed election as president in 2000, Bush caved into right-wing pressure and nominated Ashcroft as Attorney General, a move that sent shivers down the spine of anyone who vied freedom over zealotry. Ashcroft immediately set up a large-scale campaign against pornography, with hundreds of FBI agents, lawyers, and researchers gobbling up millions of dollars in taxpayer funds. Then the terrorist attacks of 9/11. When he returned to Washington, Bush assembled a cabinet and told Ashcroft, John, do whatever you have to do to keep this from happening again. Although, you know, there's a typo here. Can I read it to you the way it's printed?
Okay.
He told Ashcroft, John, do whatever you have to keep this happening again. That's exactly what it says. You can look it up. It's on our website. John, do whatever you have to keep this happening again. Giving such carte blanche to a zealot like Ashcroft was at best a dangerous decision by Bush. Ashcroft immediately went to work on the USA PATRIOT Act, a rights-robbing set of laws that ignored basic freedoms of the Constitution and gave the federal government broad powers to hold American citizens without cause, deny them the right to counsel, and wiretap any person almost at will. Ashcroft and the Bush administration renamed the Patriot Act through a shell-shock Congress. They rammed it through. Later, most House members and senators would admit they hadn't read the act and didn't even know its full impact. Now, after realizing the real dangers, many of those who voted for it initially want to roll back the more serious implications of the law. Even lifelong conservatives feel Ashcroft went too far. Former Congressman Bob Barr, you know Adolf Hitler Jr. with a little mustache? Mm-hmm. Former Congressman Bob Barr heads a coalition trying to repeal the Patriot Act and prevent a second Ashcroft initiative that would give police and the feds even more power to invade the privacy and rights of Americans. And the courts have stepped in a number of times to curtail Ashcroft's zealotry. Many of his high-profile arrests of so-called terrorists have stalled or been tossed out. Legal scholars say the Justice Department under Ashcroft is inept and unable to build cases against those in custody because they don't know the basics of building a case. And what about Ashcroft's high-profile taxpayer dollar-gobbling anti-pornography crusade? To date, the Justice Department has brought 43 cases to trial and lost every one. The most laughable was a high-profile trial against a Missouri couple for selling sex education videotapes. It took a jury of 12 women, all between the ages of 40 and 60, less than 3 hours to deliver a verdict of not guilty. Sometime in the future, when historians are able to assess the record of the Bush administration without the lingering hysteria of 9/11, John Ashcroft's tenure as Attorney General of the U.S. may be recognized as a greater threat to freedom than any explosive-packed airplane slamming into a building. Ashcroft resigned yesterday, but while the tyrant is gone, the tyranny of his actions remain as a constant threat to the freedoms we once accepted as a guarantee in this country. That's from your friend Doug Thompson at Capitol Hill Blue that you can't stand.
Okay.
Good website, good guy. Right down the middle. He doesn't pull any punches. He said that Bush and Kerry both sucked, and he was right. Okay, let's take a quick peek at that website before we take the calls we have an appointment for this hour. 5670560, pound 560 on the Verizon and Singular Wireless lines. Now that the election is over, what I want most from the Neil Rogers Show is 352 votes. Let's take a look. Are you learning anything from this poll?
No.
Oh. Back to Fun and Games, 113. Well, that's number one with 2 bullets. Huh?
Right.
More politics, 58. See, it's like we're stuck in between the hard-ass people that want us to do light bulb radio, and we're going to save the world, and we got to, that. And those people that just want to, get a few laughs now, especially how depressing the last couple of weeks have been. Especially last week. Oh, brother. Man, a week ago today, I woke up on Wednesday morning last week and felt like I'd been kicked in the stomach by Harry Elefante.
Good thing my Xanax showed up.
Back to, they got a whole handful for you. And then they also got some Vioxx, if that doesn't work. Back to Fun and Games, 113. More politics, 58. It's fine the way it is, 51. That's climbing up the ladder. Oh, thank God for those people who want to lick my cheeks. Thank you. Anything but politics, 43. More crazy callers, 37. Speaking of Prozac. More bedtime stories, 33. No callers seems to be starting to make a little bit of a move, 5. Fewer callers, 5. See, no callers and fewer callers, add those together and you got 10 already. It's not like a big movement, but fewer bedtime stories, 4, and no more bedtime stories, 3. So I guess that little Julio, your friend who's sitting there with his boyfriends in that big circle around the jerks, he may be in the minority. They don't mind as much. Maybe he's akin to Miguel, who'd hated Requiem for a Dream. And you know something? I know that you're wrong because he was working the show one day. This is way back when last year, and he told me he didn't like the movie.
You're wrong.
I'm not wrong. You're
very
full of
wrong.
crap.
I would tell you if I didn't like it. I didn't like it.
We talked about it. He borrowed my copy. He loved it.
Well, who the hell am I thinking of?
I don't know.
There was someone.
I know who it might be because he didn't like it because he probably couldn't understand it.
Greg.
Yeah. Well, maybe if you'd have just explained it to him.
Which part?
The part where he had that big purple thing on his arm.
Tinky Winky?
Oh, Jim.
Don't shoot that.
Oh, man. Poor Jared Leto, man. He and Jennifer, and I still say she was so anorexic in that movie. You see, I don't want to go through it. I've been through it before. There's no hope. There are a lot of people who are very desperate, and I understand that, and, whatever. See a little glimpse of something. Oh, they get all whipped up into a frenzy. You might as well see a little glimpse of something that looks good and get excited about it. Something that looks like, like a shadow of what it really was.
The Hot Spot is the movie you want to see for her.
Oh, I love Jennifer Connelly. She's great, and she is hot. But in that movie, she was like a little.
No question. I think that was deliberate.
Oh, in fact, that one scene there, really, there was so little of her left. It wasn't really so much ass to ass. It was cheek to cheek, as in one. WQAM, hello.
Hey, it's your 110 appointment?
Yes, sir. Right on time. Very punctual. Good job.
Just 2 words on XM radio.
Yes.
It's atrocious.
Is it? Oh, okay. Well, what is that supposed to mean? XM radio's atrocious. Where did that come from?
I don't know. Maybe that.
So what should we go on? Sirius or XM? What do you think?
Well, Rob was more, I would imagine.
Huh?
Huh?
What did you just say?
I was just mumbling.
Oh. XM is atrocious? I thought XM has more subscribers than Sirius.
I have no idea.
Maybe that was one of the guys from Sirius. Well, let's see. Let's start the bidding at $2 million. WQAM, hello.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Hey, George. Is George there?
No.
George took off today, Reverend Jones. WQAM, hello.
Hey, Neil, I got a promo for you.
A promo for the homo?
Yeah. Listen to Neil and never leave your friends behind.
Rectum.
That was cute. Wasn't that great?
Wow, with piano and everything.
Yeah, you got the whole symphony orchestra there, baby. Now we're cooking. Yeah. Let's get this election crap behind us, okay? So it was fixed, it was rigged, believe it or not, whatever you want to believe. It's over. Nothing ain't going to change. Democrats are rolling over again, spreading their legs. They love it. They think gang rape is not only funny, but they think it's fun. They think it's, they're so used to it at this point. 5670560. We got a whole bunch of appointments between now and 2 o'clock, by the way. We'll get them all in. We'll get like 20,000, 30,000. Because very few of the people on the poll are saying fewer calls or no calls. How many people say like more crazy callers? 37, see? Which, the more calls you take. No callers 6, fewer callers only 5. See, that's bedtime stories. I got a great bedtime story. Evangelicals are crediting God with securing re-election victory for Bush. Did God intervene? I'm going to read that.
Who else would they credit?
Huh?
Who else would they credit?
Oh, God.
Not me. Let me say it again. We're very proud. We are pink and proud like the NBC peacock. And that is that all the listening areas where this show is heard, loud and clear, carry one. Hands down your pants by a landslide. If we would have been like on Sirius or XM before the election, we could have been dangerous. We could have been a factor, okay? We could have been the fear factor. And then they would have feared us. Right?
Right.
Look at the impact we had on Amendment 4 on this show. We could have made some inroads because the people there in Ohio and some of those other red states weren't privy to the news because they're too busy watching propaganda on CNN and Fox and MSNBC where you don't get the MS. Yeah, they ought to take the MS out of MSNBC, okay, because they sure don't give you the MS. They had some faker on there. Oh, no, that was on Lou Dobbs last night on CNN. Giving a song and dance. He wrote some book about Scalia who never stole a freight train and sucking up to, oh, yeah, well, if we have a lot more justices like Scalia and Clarence Thomas, things will be great. In the Nazi state, some crap like that. Hey, Lou Dobbs, you ain't kidding anybody, okay, you fascist pig, you egotistical pompous ass. And by the way, I still think Miss Hummer's in the closet. Self-hating, 113 at 560 WQM. You want to know more about following a low-carb diet? You want the best-tasting, biggest selection of low-carb foods at the best price? Then here's a story you will love. I guarantee it. I'll bet you Greg's life on it. The Lights of West Boca. Whether you're starting or restarting the Atkins, the Sugar Busters, the South Beach, any low-carb, sugar-free diet. See, I'm getting choked up about it. Oh, man. Delights has always been the #1 low-carb store in South Florida. You know why I'm getting choked up about it?
Why?
I'm thinking of those meringues. Remember those?
Oh, yeah. They'll kill you.
No, they're good. They taste great, but some of them are loaded with sugar. Anyway, if you want your questions answered by people that know low-carb dieting inside and out, if you want the best in service, unbeatable prices, come to the Lights of West Boca, your low-carb headquarters, where you'll find over 1,200 delicious, tasty products like Carbolite ice cream, breads, pasta, chocolates, brownies, cookies, and more. Open every day, 7 days a week from 10 a.m. till 10 p.m. You'll find Delights on the northeast corner of Glades and 441, right next to Boston Market. Remember Boston Market?
Sure.
Oh, yeah, I remember them. Call them toll-free, Delights, that is, at 1-877-LOW-CARB. That's LOWCARB. Or on the web, it's lowcarb.com. And don't forget, there is only one Delights of West Boca. It's your official Atkins Retail Center.
You're listening to Neil Rogers on 560 QAM.
Miami town.
Yes.
At 560 WQAM. Another terrorist flight coming into the country. It got diverted and we went to Maine. Now how I wish I had not worn my turban, 'cause they sent me away. I converted many years ago. That's when I changed my name from Cat. Now the terror list I am on, 'cause my last name is Islam. That's why they sent my butt right back. Oh, another terrorist flight has been interrupted. Nobody wants to see me on a plane. I didn't even try to light my shoe. This ain't no peace train. Oh, this ain't no peace train. This ain't no peace train. I'm not Saddam Hussein. Oh, my shoe is not in flames. This ain't no peace train.
Abu Ghraib.
Yeah, we don't have Osama yet. We don't have Al-Zarqawi. We don't have Mullah Omar. We don't have any of these going. But the fact of the matter is, we got Cat Stevens.
Oh!
And sent him back where he came from
All
after
right.
his first 20 visits of the year.
He won't kill anyone again.
That's right. With those awful songs.
Hey, now.
Evangelicals are crediting God with securing re-election victory for Bush. I'm going to read this. And it's a little bit long. Not real long. It's whatever it is.
Miguel just left, so it's okay.
Oh, and by the way, the movie he didn't like was Magnolia.
That's right.
Right?
Right.
So,
but neither did anyone else, so, yeah.
Now it comes out. Now the truth finally comes out. You've been denying. You try to make up that story. You didn't like the ending.
Yeah,
the fact of the matter is you didn't like the movie.
I like the movie.
No, you didn't. Hated it. Liar. You should have been at that press conference yesterday slicing the bologna. Anyway. Did I say I was going to read this by Deborah Caldwell on a great website, by the way, BeliefNet. BeliefNet.com. Did God intervene, asks Deborah. On the day after President Bush was reelected, he gave much of the credit to his political advisor, Karl Rove, whom he called the architect of his campaign. But in evangelical churches, on Christian radio, and in voter precincts dominated by conservative Christians, the credit is going instead to someone a whole lot more powerful, God. The Almighty intervened in the U.S. election, these evangelicals believe, to allow Bush to remain the president. They say God has blessed America with Bush, and had Senator John Kerry been elected, God would have cursed the U.S. By allowing Bush to be reelected, God has given America more time to stop its slide into evil. This was Providence, evangelical leader and presidential advisor Chuck Colson told BeliefNet. Anybody looking at the 2000 election would have to say it was a miraculous deliverance, and I think people felt it again this year, he said. By allowing Bush to stay in office, Colson said, God is giving us a chance to repent and to restore some moral sanity to American life. I wonder if he was still behind bars when he was saying these things, Chuck Colson. Richard Land, a leading Southern Baptist who participates in a weekly strategy call between the White House and evangelical leaders, put it this way. Whoever won, it would have been God's will. But because Bush won, Lord told BeliefNet, God has clearly shown America his blessings. If Kerry had won, it would have proved God was cursing the U.S. The Bible says godly leadership is a sign of God's blessings, and a lack of godly leadership is a sign of God's judgment, too. I don't see Kerry as a godly leader, he said. Meanwhile, the unctuous Paul Weyrich, founder of the Free Congress Foundation and one of the original engineers of the conservative Christian political revolution, wrote an essay claiming that God gave this president and this president's party one more chance. God heard the fervent prayers of millions of values voters to keep his hand on America one more time, despite our national sins of denying the right to life, despite ignoring the biblical injunction against acts which are an abomination unto the Lord, and despite the blatant attempt to remove God from the public square. Jim Rogers of the group Mission America sent out an email the day after the election saying, yesterday America cried out and he heard from heaven and answered our prayers. Praise God! Plenty of ordinary American evangelicals also believe that by allowing Bush to be reelected, God has given the U.S. another chance. For months leading up to the election, many Christians nationwide prayed and fasted in an effort led by Intercessors for America to assist in Bush's reelection. You ever hear of them before, Intercessors for America?
No.
Well, you did now. Among them was Diana Sheehan, mother and housewife, who led a weekly prayer group at her Pennsylvania church, whose sole task was to pray about the election. Didn't do good in Pennsylvania, I guess. For 40 days ending on November 2nd, she also participated in a no-sugar fast. On Election Day, sounds like the Atkins to me. On Election Day, Sheehan paced back and forth reading the Bible in her church, Dove Christian Fellowship in Ephrata, Pennsylvania, as part of a round-the-clock 48-hour prayer vigil for the president. His reelection, she said, was God's signal that he's giving us more time to get our act together. I think this nation is going down the tubes very quickly, she said. Across town at a local polling place, Republican committeewoman Ann May Ressler said Bush's reelection would mean that God has answered our prayers and given us another chance to go kill some people. Ressler said she had been reading the book of Jeremiah, which she believes parallels American history. When that nation got so bad, the Lord sent them into captivity, Ressler explained. We've done an awful lot of things in this country that are displeasing to God. Now that God has given America extra time from which to be spared his wrath, evangelicals feel some urgency to buckle down God's business. This is why, for example, a group called Christian Responses already sent out an email with the subject line Emergency to induce supporters to blast Capitol Hill with faxes condemning Senator Arlen Specter, the Republican Pennsylvania senator who said last week that judicial nominees who oppose abortion would face difficulty getting Senate confirmation. The Family Research Council and Focus on the Family followed within hours with emails entitled Stop Specter. Many evangelicals think America is secular and decadent and in cultural decline. Their role, they believe, is to stem that tide and renew the culture. Many of these Christians seem to believe that God will be angry with them and with the entire nation if they don't make big legislative changes. And so they put themselves on a short leash with God, and they hope to convince other Americans to do likewise. God is not going to tolerate a nation that thumbs its nose at him, Colson says. This whole idea of scrubbing all religious influence out of public life and taking down the Ten Commandments and stopping prayer and not allowing people to talk about their faith for fear of offending someone, I don't think God honors that. God's patience runs out. Their solution seems to lie in Bush's presidency. He is one of those men God and fate somehow led to the fore in times of challenge, said New York Governor George Pataki in the high-profile introduction of Bush at the Republican National Convention, an introduction almost certainly scrubbed if not written by the White House. Pataki and former New York Mayor Rudy Giuliani both said twice that Americans should thank God that Bush was in office after 9/11. During the period after 9/11, Bush talked of being chosen by the grace of God to lead at that moment, according to Time magazine. World magazine, a conservative Christian publication, quoted White House official Tim Gogolin as saying, I think President Bush is God's man at this hour, and I say this with a great sense of humility. Popular Christian broadcaster Janet Parshall told her listeners, God picked the right man at the right time for the right purpose. And General William Jerry Boykin, who got in trouble for derogatory comments he made about Islam, argued that it must have been God who selected Bush in 2000, since a plurality of voters had not. He's in the White House because God put him there for such a time as this. I thought it was the Supreme Court. It seems clear that the President himself believes that God is orchestrating American history. At the 2003 National Prayer Breakfast, for example, Bush said, we can be confident in the ways of providence behind all of life and all of history. There's a dedication and purpose set by the hand of a just and faithful God. Barry Hankins, a historian at Baylor University, says these sorts of beliefs arose with the founding of the nation and persist among certain Christians. There's a strong cultural belief among Protestant Christians that America is a vehicle for God's will. He says, if you scratch people enough below the surface, there's this belief that Providence has a hand in everything that happens in America. And at times like this, it comes out because it's in the back of people's minds or hearts. The Puritans believed they were establishing the new Israel, and that their enterprise was guided by God, that they were God's chosen people headed for the Promised Land. But that metaphorical idea that America was a beacon began to mutate by the early 19th century into the belief that America was the literal instrument to lead a world transformation to Christian democracy. That's been a powerful idea in American history, and it usually lays dormant, Hankins says, but at times the language is so powerful that when positive things happen in the eyes of evangelicals, there's a tendency to fall back into that language. The last time this triumphal view was common was during the Reagan administration. Before then, it was the Cold War struggle of the 50s. It was very difficult for evangelicals to stop short of saying God was on our side, Hankins says. Not all evangelicals buy the argument, however. Erwin McManus, a rising evangelical leader who leads a Los Angeles church called Mosaic, believes this interpretation is short-sighted and isolationist. What we really need to ask is what choices do we make that serve humanity the best and reflect the value system the Bible teaches? How do I relieve the most suffering? How do I do the most good? How do I give people the best options to live the life they should live? How do I create a culture of life? McManus, a registered independent who voted for Bush, says members of his conservative evangelical Bible-centered church don't believe God intervened in the election. Their average age is 25, and they represent 57 nations. They feel embarrassed when they hear language that sounds elitist because that isn't Christian, then McManus says. But that isn't how many evangelicals understand their language. They consider it fair warning. Land looks into the Old Testament for proof. When God's people were idolatrous and rebellious, he sent justice, sometimes evil kings and sometimes foreign conquerors, he says. I've said on numerous occasions that if God would allow his chosen people to be taken off into captivity, don't think he won't judge the U.S., he said. How do you like that? So God gave us Bush, okay? Mm-hmm. Which is where that expression came from. Damn him. Well, I can't say that.
No. God
it's your sister. And she's a lady of the cloth. And you know what she can do with that cloth?
You turd.
28 after 1 at 560 WQAM. Hey, if your carpeting looks like maybe a few of those got dropped on there, maybe they did. Maybe Fido had a little bad stomach. Or maybe, who God only knows what's in that carpeting. Speaking of God. Dry Concepts is the place you want to call to sanitize your home because your carpeting, like I always tell you, next to your sink, in fact, even more than your sink, there's more bad germs in your carpeting than anywhere in your home, even your toilet. And when it comes to having your carpeting, your furniture, your drapery, your area and oriental rugs clean and looking and feeling and smelling just like brand new, nobody anywhere does it for you like Dry Concepts. That's why I've used them in my homes for over 20 years. And you shouldn't even dream of using anybody else. And just recently, there was that expose on local TV about those $5.95 per room scam artists in the carpet cleaning business. People that give you a big song and a dance, pretend to give you a bargain, and then rip you off like crazy. And, of course, on top of it, do a crap job anyway. Dry Concepts does a spectacular job. It'll look like they had brand new carpeting laid on the floor when they finish, and they give you a written guaranteed price up front before they start the work. No scams, no BS, just a stupendous job each and every time. Give them a call once, you'll never use anybody again, I guarantee. I bet you Greg's life on it. And Dave Broward in the Palm Beaches, call Dry Concepts toll-free, 1-800-248-5071. That's 1-800-248-5071. On the web, it's dryconcepts.com, of course. Dry Concepts, making carpets brand new looking and clean since 1979 all over South Florida.
The Howard Stern Show. Neil Rogers, mornings and middays. And sports around the clock. 560 QAM.
Bush.
I thought Christianity was fairy tale.
Absolutely.
This religion thing was not for me. They held a big convention. Let me in for free. Had no idea what I was about to see. They were speaking in tongues that made me a believer. It was kind of fun to stick it out of my mouth. Speak in tongues. They got me believing my tongue is weaving from side to side. The Lord will now embrace me. I clap my tongue to the beat. Now, whatever I do, he'll forgive me. Because now I speak in tongues. That makes me a believer. And I'm having fun. Playing around with my mouth. Now I speak in tongues.
We almost forgot today? What? Thank you, Mr. President, for those low gas prices and for that strong American dollar. Boy, look at that, 83.69 a Canadian dollar. A couple of years ago, it was worth 62 cents U.S., and now it's like almost 84 cents. I think they're doing that just to spite me, you know. Bastards. Anyway, Tom in Fort Lauderdale says the Republican Party is sold out to the religious right, and unfortunately, the rest of us are going to pay hell for it, both in infringements of civil liberties and reduced personal safety when traveling abroad.
Absolutely correct, sir.
Because the rest of the world now hate Americans like poison. Thank God at least gays won't be able to get married. That'll be such a comforting consolation while I watch the flag-draped coffins coming back from Fallujah. Oh, wait a minute, I almost forgot. They won't let the press show that, he says. Time to brush off the old slogan, better dead than red. It certainly has been never true or more true. It's not. You got it, Tom. You got your thumb on it. But you better take that thumb off because Jose Jimenez is watching you now, okay? Used to be John Ashcroft. Now it's Jose Jimenez. He's dead, isn't he, Bill Dana?
I'm sure he is.
Well, why do you say that?
Because that's 100 years ago.
My name? Jose Jimenez. He was good. He was funny. He didn't say anything else, but that's all he said. Kind of like that Dan LeBastard thing on ESPN yesterday where they were like making fun of his Guayabera and they were singing Babaloo and Hey Lucy when he got off of there. I think they listened to this show. Right?
They must.
Where else was Dan LeBastard referred to in such terms as Lucy and Babaloo? We were only here. A lot of people, eavesdropping on the show. They don't want to admit it except old Ted David there on CNBC. You know what I was thinking before?
What?
Because it's getting really ponderous, just talking to the same people every single day. I was thinking of like taking a full. Remember, we're going to do a full page ad for whatever the reason was in USA Today. What was that all about?
I forgot.
Oh, it had something to do with the FCC. Remember that?
Yeah.
More wasting our time. Mm-hmm. Just taking out an ad to promote NeilRogers.com.
Okay.
Just with that. www.neilrogers.com. That's all we'd have to say.
Okay. Not even a picture of your puss?
No. I don't want a picture of my puss.
Well, we got
I'm going to get the Groucho glasses and a big nose and mustache. Forget about that. No, seriously, don't you think that's a good idea?
Sure. We'll ask Eric. He could do it all.
He could handle the whole thing. I'd pay for it. How much was it? Like $5,000? I'd do it. Half page, full page, whatever it would cost. That's all it has to say. Right?
Right.
Can you imagine the attention that would get? The zillions of people who would be listening online, who would discover the website, who would be hitting on it every day? Huh? Who'd be checking out the beaded curtain every day?
All right.
There you go. I mean, there's so many different things on there.
Boca Brian says Bill Dana is alive.
See, there you go. And you're again, First you tell me that Magnolia sucks, and now you tell me Bill Dana's dead. He's like, yes, sir, verified. He's still alive. Yeah. Yeah. WQAM, hello.
Yeah, hi, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Neil, I wanted to ask you something. There was an article in yesterday's USA Today. I don't know if you saw it, about Cat Stevens. He was given an award as the Peaceful Man of the Year. I don't know if you were...
Not that terrorist maniac. Not
yeah,
that
the same. The one and the same,
Oh, no.
And anybody who sings a song about the peace train has to be a threat to our national security.
That's for sure, man. Anybody that sings about peace, that's the real terrorist right there. He's trying to throw you off the track.
Let me ask you something, Neil.
Ask me something.
And I'm being serious. Do you feel that you're going to retire, or do you think that somebody at the FCC is going to find a way to take people like yourself off the air? I mean, are we heading that way? And I'm really being serious.
What do you mean people like myself off the air? How can they take somebody off the air?
Well, I mean, the FCC, it looks like, they...
Well, we've watered the show down so much now that I don't give them any opportunity, okay? We don't even say crap, much less take one. I mean, what are they going to find me for now? We don't do anything.
Well, I mean, you never know. They just change the rules, every day it seems.
You're telling me like I don't know that?
Oh, I know you know that.
Not only do they change the rules, but we've got this crazy bitch Joyce over there in the corporate headquarters, who if they say jump back 2 steps, she jumps back 30. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. Man. Let me ask you one other thing, though. We know
what kind of a nervous Nelly she is.
We know who they're trying to put through as the new Attorney General, but who do you think is going to become the new, what do you call it? Who's the other guy that stepped down, the...
Commerce Secretary?
Yeah, who do you think
Secretary of Commerce? Yeah. Probably Jim Baker. Not Jim Baker the lawyer, but Jim Baker the evangelist. Good luck to you, Pally. Hang in there. Yeah, Jimmy Baker, he's good with numbers, right?
Sure.
Or maybe it could... Yeah. Or maybe Miss Kamal when she gets out. She's pretty good with numbers. Young numbers.
You're listening to Neil Rogers exclusively on 560 QAM.
I stand in front of you now, 2 years later, and say, it took me a little while, I'm a little slow learner, but, Neil, I apologize. It's radio. You are the truth.
Oh, what's that? Finally got a call here. The number one rated Mohammed David in his own. At least according to my aspirations. Stay away from me. I don't even know how you have children. Miramar, hello.
Yes, I want your take on Jay Fiedler.
Oh, well, Jay Fiedler is a great quarterback and a good Jew.
I like Jay Fiedler.
Well, not to mention he's got extraordinarily smooth butt-tops.
Oh, yeah!
Yes, you gotta be careful what you say here.
Okay, Doc. Thank you, Mo.
No, wait a minute. Don't go.
But I have nothing else to say.
How about this? How's the weather down there in Miramar?
I'm right down the street from you.
Oh, yeah.
I have to go.
Oh, wait, by the way, something.
No, I have to go.
Look, I tell you what, I'll hold you over a break. How's that, huh? I'll give you one of my old tank T-shirts. How's that? No, wait! That was the only color we had.
The veins on your nose is glowing again. You got big purple veins on your nose and on your face, and around those oozing temples you call If you go look in the mirror, you'll see a roadmap of ypsilanti. You got your hefties on, way too tight.
My nose glows when something stings. Almost every day I think. And my veins, they start to tickle. My adenoid, yeah, I look like a ball in a bag. That's because I'm a crazy old bag. My nose gets filled with purple veins. It's like that you ought to see. A science journal discovery. My nose has a bleeding purple vein.
Mad Dog at 2. And bad news, though, on that Scott Peterson trial, as if we're supposed to care, which we are, but I don't. Juror number 5 has been dismissed. Now, do you know which one that is?
That one.
That was the one that was, like, picked to replace the other juror that was dismissed, and now juror number 5 has been dismissed. Does anybody care?
No.
Man. You see, you crazy people in the media, you thought with the OJ deal that you could milk every one of these deals that comes out. Just milk it and milk it, and then it was alien, you know? There's only one problem with this. I don't care how many panels Larry King puts on the air with Nancy, that bitch Grace, with that phony Southern drawl. Nobody cares except a few shut-ins, you know? A few shut-in housewives. Nobody, do you care?
No.
Josh, do you care about Scott and Lacey Peterson?
Who?
Exactly. I care more about, like, Paul Peterson. Remember Paul Peterson? My dad. Remember that?
No.
Well, too bad. My dad. 528 votes. Now that the election is over, what do you want? What I want most from the Neil Rogers Show is back to fun and games, 151. Oh! All right. It's fine the way it is, 121. That's making a move. More politics, 71. Get serious now. Serious. Just keep saying that. Serious. Spell it right. Anything but politics, 63. More crazy callers like Ron. Hi. 57. More bedtime stories, 41. A lot of that ponderous reading, man. We want more. No callers, 11. Fewer callers, 5. Fewer bedtime stories, 5. And no more bedtime stories, 3. See, so Miguel's in a minority. They want bedtime stories.
I like them.
Well, you like it because I don't know why you like it.
Because they're interesting.
Oh, because I read them so well?
Right, because I don't
fumble
have
and
to.
bumble and flumpy and,
If you read them, I don't have to.
I see. Now, this thing that you just faxed me, here's another America example. See, I can't even say it, much less read it. Well, because I'm tongue-tied from it. Another example of America has lost its way. The headline on this story from Corvallis, Oregon, Trojans come from behind against Beavers.
Rectum.
How do you like that? What? God only knows what's going to be happening next. This is only about football.
In broad daylight, I'm sure.
Trojans come from behind against Beavers, my ass. Man. Dominique Byrd. Oh, that makes it even worse. Dominique Byrd caught 2 touchdown passes, and Reggie Bush. This can't be for real. This has got to be a,
I'm telling you, I found it.
Dominique Byrd caught 2 touchdown passes, and Reggie Bush returned a punt 65 yards for a score as the top-ranked Southern California Trojans came from behind against the Beavers of Oregon State to post a 28-20 win. That is the most unbelievable. I told you that sports is a bunch of perverts. Did I tell you that? That is disgusting. What the hell is God going to think about that?
Oh, God.
Right. How's Orlando doing? Wonder if he ever eloped with his boyfriend, you know? So many closet cases in so little time. Maybe he can run for governor of New Jersey. There's a lot of his people up there in Union City.
Did they go?
The big... Oh! WQAM, hello.
Hey, how you doing, Neil?
All right, Pally.
How's everything going?
Great.
All right, I got two things for you. First of all, I know I'm going to get the laugh on this, but has Norma King, your agent, done anything about maybe getting you over there in Sirius?
Has he done anything?
Yeah, I mean, at least inquired about it.
Do you remember in The Godfather after Santino got shot on the causeway?
Yeah.
And Tom Hagen was sitting there talking to him and telling him that Sonny just got shot on the causeway, and Don Corleone gives that. I want all inquiries made. Remember that?
Yeah.
All inquiries are being made.
Really?
Yes.
He's making queries.
All inquiries are being made. Yes, they are.
All right, good. The other thing is, during the commercial, I'm flipping around, and I come across that other station, of course, and they go into that.
What other station is that?
You know, like the sports channel. So they go into that.
790?
Yeah, they go into that corny music, like they got a breaking news, and they come up with the Dave Wannstedt story, and he goes, "There's a new sheriff in town." And I was like, okay, I listen, and he goes, "But the criminals are wearing all the same uniforms."
Wow, sounds pretty scintillating to me. Who's that, Dan LeBaster, one of those guys? The only thing they got is Joe Rose, man. That's all they got. They have nothing else.
No doubt. Hey, so
that little twerp Craig Minervini, he's a weenie. I mean, forget about him. He's got no following. He's got nothing. He brings nothing to the table.
I can't wait to hear all those dirty bits on Sirius.
Okay, Pally, that's our slogan in 2004. Get serious. Well, what the hell happened to his phone there? I think, huh? Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Wow, that was exciting. Yeah, all inquiries have been made, and of course, I'm examining my options. Right?
Stocks and options.
And that is correct. Jerry Falwell plans for evangelical revolution. How do you like that? I wouldn't be surprised if he gets that thick and tinky winky off the air.
You're listening to Neil Rogers exclusively on 560 QAM.
Gosh, I don't think I ever said I'm not worried about Osama bin Laden. It's kind of one of those exaggerations. Of course we're worried about Osama bin Laden. We're on the hunt after Osama bin Laden. We're using every asset at our disposal to get Osama bin Laden. I don't know where he is. Nor, I just don't spend that much time on it, really, to be honest with you. And, again, I don't know where he is. I repeat what I said. I truly am not that concerned about him.